It's all in Jerry and he said, let me get some.
Jabril, can you hear me? Jabril, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? I don't see him. I cannot live like this. No. Yes. Welcome. I see you.
All right, we get a sound check in here. You hear me, Soldier?
Yes.
I'm gonna cut the phone off. Now can you hear me?
Sure can.
Who it is, Mika?
Yes.
All right, let me see something. I can't see anything, but I'm gonna go on with it anyway.
Well, we see you. You're good. You look good. Your tie is great. Just
All
glad.
right, that's good enough. I'm live. You hear me, Jabril? Come on, somebody talk back to me. Come on, y'all. All right, here we go. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
1
Alaikum
minute
salam.
here. Gotta make sure. I can't hear anybody right now. Pick up, bro. Lima, can you see me now?
Yeah. Well, I ain't looking at the screen. Miko said she could see you.
But you check it for me again so I make sure.
All right. I'll check on.
I can see you,
Well,
but
I
You
can't
can see
really
me.
unless I go on YouTube.
That's all I need, so I can go on
yeah, I can
live.
see you. That's what I was saying. I can see you, and everybody is here, and they were just waiting on you. That's all.
All right, that's it. I don't need no. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Walaikum salam.
Little technical difficulties. You know, the brother working on it, but I got all these technicians around me and calling in and helping me get this together. So I appreciate everybody. Pop have it together for long. Fast move, quick thinking, down the amount of time. But I would like to start out with a prayer tonight, which I always do. In the most holy name of Almighty God Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who was to come and has come to restore we who are lost from our own kingdom of Islam and to destroy those that destroyed us. Lord our God, O Allah, we are thy people. Deliver us from our murderers, and we serve and obey thee all the days of our lives, and we teach our children to submit to thee, to thine equal love and mercy for thou. And thanks to you, O Allah, for making manifest to us, our enemy, the devil. All praise is due unto to Allah. We would like to thank you for the most honorable and humble Elijah Muhammad. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Allahu Akbar. Peace to all the brothers out there tonight. I know the sisters are watching as well. You know, this subject a little bit tonight will probably be on cooperation. You know, the black man, we got to learn how to cooperate. We open a lot of corporations. But I came from a cooperation where we know how to cooperate and operate amongst ourselves. And a cooperation isn't run like a corporation. It's really based on the needs and wants of the people. Because, you know, for us, we have to run our corporation or business a little different because when our people come in, a lot of times, unless you just hire professionals, they really don't know what to do. For instance, you take a brother that's never worn a suit before. You bring them in, you're using child language, use a lot of slang, what's up, and all that old type of stuff. You teach them how to communicate and speak. Yes, sir, no, sir. Teach them how to put that nice suit on. And you teach them, you start teaching the art of the proper handling of people. And that's an art for black people in America. We had to know how to handle our people. We've been so messed up to where, you know, a brother come in and work, he not used to getting up in the morning and being somewhere on time, not used to being on time at all. You don't know how to take a report and write a report. And we used to hire people to, we ran our security company to, brother got to open up in the morning when the store opened. We had what we would call a buffer, and they would be there before the guy we hired to be there to make sure that they showed up. When they showed up, that man could leave. But these are some of the things you have to do when you work on our people till you can bring them up. Brother come in, you can feel his energy. You know, like get the brother greeting. Might not say anything back to you. You don't have to get all tested with it because you know that brother is having a day. It could be problems at home. There could be bills that need to be paid. It might be struggling to overcome addiction and having domestic problems at home and all type of issues that, you know, we tend to have. So we have to retrain that brother first. We got to get him back into himself and get that confidence where he will know he can know himself. Where you go out in the public and you're going to perform a task, you fully confident that you can get the job. Now you got to put that back into our people. So a lot of that's been taken out because the brother been left out, totally left out. School system is all jacked up because your behavior when you go to school, you really have to really pretend to be other than yourself in a lot of cases because you can't be that strong, brother, assertive, masculine, know how to speak your mind, and you have talents to get things done, and you have people that's watching you, and a lot of times they're there to hinder you, not help you. So that's where we come in at, you know, the order, the proper handling of people, because we are so sensitive. So much has been done to us, and I can understand it. Even when we use the word fear, it's been so ingrained in us to where, just imagine, you was on the plantation, man, and you lived in constant fear because your life could be taken anytime. You get punished for anything. You might come home, your whole family could be gone. This is ingrained in us for over 500 years, and I flash forward to today. We still, majority of us, walking in fear. Now we fear those rough riders that they got to ride the streets, patrolling the streets of America, calling themselves protecting and serving. You don't know if you're gonna make it back home. Well, I go out the door. I don't worry about that too much because you have to look at the other ways. They might not make it back to the house themselves because I'm gonna fight for my life. But the fact that you have to live up under all these circumstances and try to make it, which brings in a lot of distrust amongst us as people. That's where a lot of envy come in now. That's why you see brothers come together and can't stay together. That jealous and envy, especially envy. And I had wrote something down for that in particular. And I want to deal with that because I see it so much, and I work with a lot of men myself in different organizations, and everybody come with their skill set, but we bring it together to get the job done. You know, you have to learn how to set your ego aside, but sometimes that envy, because this is all really part of the Willie Lynch syndrome that's been instilled in us for all those years. We still battling that. You know, when they used to be on the plantation and show favor over the other because of your skin or gave you a little bit more to eat, you kept you close to the master, and the one that Uncle Tom, you know, you would call him Uncle Tom, but he didn't always stay Uncle Tom. But when they had that individual relationship with the master, it was a little bit something different. But when you took that away and he started looking at the master as an object, the way the master looked at him, because you done sold my children down the road, you done raped my wife, so now, you know, I'm gonna start putting something in your food. Understand? I'm gonna chop up that glass, and pretty soon you're gonna start hemorrhaging and not knowing what's going on. And pretty soon I'm gonna make up that special soup for you. You're all the way down and you be gone. I'll be crying, oh yeah, I'll be the one that took your life though. You know, these relationships that have been built up amongst us, amongst white people, coming up amongst them, and right relationship that we had to develop. And that's where a lot of distrust came in amongst us. You know, and envy, you know, they say envy, sorrow, and sadness over others' good. Think about that. Sorrow and sadness over others' good, because that good is regarded as something withheld, taken away from the envious. Think about that. It always works out like that amongst us men. We always get jealous of the other brother got a little bit shine. You understand, that you don't see in yourself. And you know, I done dealt with these type of situations, you know, throughout my whole, I must say, my career, standing up for the black man, fighting for freedom, justice, equality, trying to build a nation. I've always had to deal with my brothers in those type of situations, you know, but we all bring something to the table and have a talent, you know, but that's something to think about. Take away, it says, regarded as something withheld, taken away from the envious. In other words, I feel you have something that I should. You understand what I'm saying? You figure you should have what this man got, but you don't even have it in you. Think about that. This is what we're dealing with all across the country amongst our people right now, especially the brothers. We fighting over words. We in a time of war. White folks marching all across the country, all in Philly, and this just the tip of the iceberg, brothers. Y'all don't know what's coming. And it would be easy to come at you because we know we got you divided. The disruptor has come in and divided us. So there's no cooperation. Only brother you see cooperating is those that get a little paper and try to get together and make some moves. But they done forgot about the people to a degree because they ain't bringing nothing back to the community. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't bringing nothing back, brothers and sisters. You see how all the deals and stuff they make, but where's the benefit of the grassroots, brothers and sisters? Where is it at? You got to talk to me a little bit. You know, so we're gonna have to kill envy. We're gonna have to kill distrust. And we gonna have to make sure that we knock out fear. Fear got to go. And especially from the brothers, brother. And only time I see the fear is when you're dealing with this white boy. He's the bravest and the most brazen warrior on the planet when it comes to dealing with one another. Where you get this from? You got it from your enemy. And you know, I love following teacher Honorable Basheer Muhammad because I follow him because as well, he's a spiritual man, but he's a soldier. You understand? And I get with the soldier quick because we got the same understanding. We got easy cooperation. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you get a brother ain't never been out there in the front line, ain't never been out in the field, he ain't never been tested. A lot of them brothers, I don't really trust them like that, like you all do. When you see them making all these bold speeches and saying this, that, and another, because the Lord blessed me to go through it. And what I'm speaking to you on is because I know it. Because I done been through most of all of this that I see that you brothers is getting ready to attempt to go down that road on. So I can tell you when I see the spies and the traitors in our community, and I know those that's committed. I know a man that's a soldier that I could be on the front line when I look around, shit, he gone. No, brother, you brothers gonna have to get some experience in here now. Them suits look good and them jackets and them cuts look good on social media, but what you gonna do when they come for you? What you gonna do when you got to face up now? A situation you ain't never been in your life. That's why you see police officers trained, military officers trained, because it become a second habit. You understand? It's just a reflex move. You don't even have to think about it. We got to get back and start training ourselves and training our minds to overcome our fear. We got to heal ourselves. We have to do that. And if you brothers would just get up out of that mentality, where the white man is always echoing in your mind, telling you, don't get with this brother, don't get with that brother, he this, he that. That's not the solution. That's your enemy. Study working in your home. What I mean, working in your mind. Also what I would like to say, when you brothers and sisters do come to the class, because I know the sisters in here, make sure you come with some pencil and paper. A fruit that always carry an ink pen and a pad. So you can take notes and jot down information and stuff like that you come across. Very important, because I want to start giving you a set of general orders that we use. I'm gonna give it to you myself. Well, there ain't no need to keeping it all in the house. We got millions and millions of brothers out here that need this information so we can move as one. And I would like to say that first general order, so you all should get ready to write this one down. Give you a couple seconds. That's 1, 2. That's all you get. Is that first general order is to take charge of my post and all temporal property in view. Say it again. Take charge of my post and all temporal property in view. That's that first general order. So you brother wondered about what post mean and temple and all that. We're going to get to that. And second general order, I'm just going to give you 2. Is to walk my post in a perfect manner, always keeping on the alert. To walk my post in a perfect manner, always keeping on the alert. Those are some of the first 2 steps of creating order amongst us as a people, as a group of people, as teams, as networks, as businesses. It's 12 of them. I'm going to give you 2 tonight because I want to brothers, so we can have a little discussion where I can really try to connect with you and see what's on your mind. I'm sitting up here talking to this camera, but I want to know what's going on with you, brother. What's on your mind, how we can move forward. What's some of your thoughts? Need to know where you're at now. Some of you people that's here tonight, and some of you are educated, some of you got money, some of you still moving in the street. We from all walks of life. Well, we all the same, brothers. Ain't no big eyes and little U's. Let's get that out the way. Now we look at one another as my brother. It ain't what you got. It's what we working with. It's what we got to work with one another now. But I wanted to go back and give you something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says relate to being a little bit militant, brothers. You know, we a little bit too soft now. And your enemy is really working on you, brother. I mean, he's trying to turn you brothers out like you brothers like a pimp, but trying to turn out a woman. Trying to turn you out, brother. I mean, he doing a pretty good job now. I see too much softness amongst the brothers. I see brothers, a lot of these brothers sitting behind these cameras. He was talking to one brother last night. And the brother said, well, what would you do, brother, if somebody murdered your daughter and stuff? Well, one brother, he was out of Richmond too. He said, well, he said, I ain't calling the police. He said, I'm going to handle that myself. And the brother said, you mean to tell me you ain't going to tell the police? He said, after why I do things with the brother that was a commentator, he would say, well, I ain't from the streets. He said, I ain't built like that. Yeah, that's what I thought. You ain't got to be from the streets to be dangerous in a righteous way. What the hell that supposed to mean? That means that as a police officer, I come slap your woman, slap your daughter, and I ain't even got to slap you because you ain't going to do nothing anyway. That's what you're saying. And I can understand the point that he was trying to make too, because they're trying to talk about this word snitching. But you brothers in our community snitching all over the damn place for one. Y'all doing a little bit too much snitching, period. Well, let me get to this little old man from Sanderville, Georgia, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say. Understand? See, we afraid to die, but we killing every damn thing. Think about that. It says we should not lick the slave master's boot. He should lick our own boots. You would say he should be killed. Exclamation point. He should be killed because he is teaching us to hate. Teaching us to hate one another. That's my word. That ain't what the message says. My people, you are in a dangerous position. Get the fear out of you and stand up for your people. We got to learn, look at ourselves as a people as a whole, brother. We ain't individuals. Collectively, we a nation of people in America. Your open enemy look at you not as individuals, unless you're a good house nigga, keep it, good work for him. He says, get the fear out of you and stand up for your people. Who are you not to die for your people? Who am I not to die for my people? This is Honorable Elijah Muhammad talking. If I am shot down or cut down today, who is little Elijah Muhammad to 20 million of you? And I know you brothers and sisters ain't Muslim, they ain't trying to make you one. But I'm gonna give you this because this is what helped me. You understand? You can take this and work with it. It says, if a million of us throw ourselves in the fire for the benefit of the 20 million, the loss will be small compared to the great gain our people will make as a result of that sacrifice. It says hundreds of thousands of Muslims gave their lives in Pakistan to get their nation's independence. They were successful. The black men in Africa are fighting and dying today in unity for their independence. We sit here like pampered babies. You got all the little gold and all the little kicks and all the little belts, all the little Gucci's and all this other stuff y'all be naming that the white boy be putting out here for y'all to buy and wearing all your little gold and your crosses, and you cannot even stand up on the floor, not to mention taking the chance of crawling out the door. We are too careful of shedding blood for ourselves. We are willing to shed all of it for the benefit of others. He said, I am not trying to get you to fight. This is not even necessary. I know y'all thought I was trying to get you to fight. This ain't what I'm trying to do, brothers and sisters. He said, this is not even necessary. Our unity will win the battle. Our unity will win the battle. You ain't got to even have a gun. He said, I'm not trying to get you to fight. This is not even necessary. Our unity will win the battle. Not one of us will have to raise a sword. Not one good gun would we need to fire. Not one gun would we need to fire. The great cannon that will be fired is our unity. Our unity is the best. Why are you afraid to unite? Why are you afraid to accept Allah and His love? Because the white boy told you that one. It's only because the slave master did not teach you of this. We must unite to ourselves as a nation of people. Separation of the so-called Negro from the slave master children is a must. It's the only solution to our problem. Uh-oh. I might be in a little trouble with y'all tonight because I'm talking about separation again. I'm talking about standing up, coming together, doing something for yourself. And you know, and I talk strong like that because I know the benefits of being strong and upright. You know, we would got 100 brothers, 500 brothers, we lined up shoulder to shoulder, brother. And we got an enemy, they facing us, we facing them. Talking about these white boys. Understand? They got all the equipment, all the vests and hammers and sticks and guns. We ain't got none of that. But we ready to roll, ready to die if necessary, but we ain't planning on dying. You understand what I'm saying? We standing up there ranked up, and you hear the brother say, ma. That's our war cry. Ma. Ma. You got 500 soldiers standing like that. You say one step forward, to-do. And all them steps come down at one time, sounding like thunder on the ground. And you're looking at your enemy. Oh, they ain't looking like they was. You stepped up there. You see that fear jump in them. Understand? Oh, this ain't the ordinary black man. I'm going to just run up here and bust up tonight. I'm going to have to put it in. Oh, yeah. That's the type of man you want to sit up and tell about it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Because this is what you got to do with your family, brother. You got to get them together now. This got to go down to the family. That's why I want to talk to the men so you can pass it down. You got to put that courage back into the family, to your woman and to your children, brother. But you got to do it in the right way. We got to unite. Throw out envy. Throw out jealousy. Throw out the distrust. Make your word bond. For my word should fail, I should give my life. Quit saying anything about your mouth or doing any doggone thing. When you're taking care of business, think about nationhood. Think about setting up a business where you can hire your unfortunate people, the one that they done despised and talked about. They don't even talk about poor people. They only talk about the middle class and the rich. You don't even exist in America. When we set up business and corporation, that's to reach back and get our unfortunate brother, bring him up. That's where all the genius is at, in the hood. That's where all that unlocked knowledge is sitting there waiting to permeate and come out of the black man, woman, and child, sitting right there, locked in, like it's caged in. Only time you get a glimpse of it when they discover one of us in the hood and give them a job to work for them. Take all that beautiful talent and use it. Make yourself rich. Get a brother a nice house, a little car, a couple white girls probably, you know what I'm talking about. Understand? And family, brother, is the key. Remember those general orders now. I hope you wrote them down because it's 10 more coming. And I want to speak to you, brothers, tonight. But I want to talk about family because it's what I like about Jabril. He always pushes family, man. Always key. You got the Muhammad, unrealized Muhammad family. You got Mr. Farrakhan family. You got Brother Said. You got brothers all over the country. But you have to bring your family with you. And this is some of the things unrealized Muhammad said that we should be teaching to change the people's mode of thought and their very habits. They are turning the uncouth into the cultured. So we take an uncivilized man and make him civilized. You know, we used to raise up a lot of brothers. I got to tell it like it is. Some brother came in drinking. Some brother come in and drugs. We get them into the class and they get to working with us on a 24/7 basis, working in the bank and coming to work. We paying you though. We paying you to give you this knowledge. You understand? You ain't bringing nothing to the table but yourself. We pay brothers to teach them how to be civilized. You got black men in America that's doing it. You don't hear about this, though. The only thing you hear is about the negative. Brother come in, start doing good, man. You be in there, get sweating all that poison out of you. About a month later, boy, you see the brother's skin start changing, start looking good and stuff. And when he came in the door, boy, his woman was his boss. Tell you the truth about it, because he'll tell you. She be on him, because he be slipping. But then the thing about it, once the brother started getting up 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, the brother looking good and got him a car and stuff and paying the bills and stuff. But now, conversation in the home is not quite the same. She ain't running him and bossing him like she was when he was on drugs, when he was broke. And you know, a lot of sisters would prefer their men to be weak so they can control them. A lot of them talk to men out of a job and something that was good for them, and they end up leaving and going back to the graveyard. See the brothers, a few months later, they stand in front of the liquor store or something. Think about that, brother. See, we got a lot of work to do. That's what I'm talking about. Cooperation goes all the way through the family, brother. Especially when the brother trying to get up. It said Islam takes the woman off the street, placing them in their homes with protection, making them respectful, protected, charming, affectionate mothers, and devoted, loyal, understanding wives. And you know, when I use Islam, you know, this is your nature. I ain't trying to make you no Muslim. Hell, I'm trying to make you a man. Make you a guy, tell you the truth about it. Women are taught to respect themselves. Women are taught to respect themselves. Our women, a lot of them ain't respecting themselves because the men ain't on their job. And the man might cover themselves to cover their hair, to lengthen their dresses. The more difficult it is to obtain something, the more value is placed on it. By nature, precious things protected and well covered. It says the women are taught, it says man's most precious jewel is his woman. It cleans up the men, stops them from drinking, gambling, wasting their money, and sport play, making them fathers in their homes so their wives and children can look up to them with respect. So we got to get that respect back in the home, brother. Got to get it back. It is mandatory that the men protect and respect the woman. It says mandatory. Respect and protect. Through the teaching of Islam, the mother is able to instill within her children love and respect for their father, and teach them love and sympathy, forgiveness and understanding, teach truthfulness, appreciation, and consideration. Think about that, brothers and sisters. She teaches them to be truthful, not to run around here lying about your side of your mouth, and trustworthy in all their dealings, to make no false claims and never take advantage of anyone. That's where that cooperation come in. When you start instilling these values and morals into someone, into your children, look what you're producing down the line. You ain't gonna have all them headaches when they get older to start using their own mind and not paying a lot of attention to your words, but they already been grounded in righteousness, the values that you put into them. But the example that's set in the home by the father starts at the top. Not with your woman, start with your black man. And the woman, she'll be more than happy to execute that, brother. In Islam, the boys and girls are placed under specially trained, qualified teachers. You got them in these old messed up schools. Half of them ain't qualified to teach your own. The children are taught to love and respect their parents, respect the teachers and their elders. And most of these youngsters, man, they'll cuss around you and use all type of names. Man, we didn't never dare to even cuss around elders like that. Well, let me take that back, Carl. When I was a little child, I did cuss a lot. And the old folks, you know, they didn't get on me too much. They said, ooh, that boy sure cuss. I thought I was doing something. You understand? They didn't, you know, but What they taught me is I went along with my grandfather taught me, to always respect my elders. You walk and you talk with me. You got to take the child by the hand sometime and y'all walk. Talk with them, give them that quality time. Because they want to hear from you anyway. They're waiting to hear something good coming up out your mouth. Think about that, brother. And to understand that learning is only possible. To understand that learning is only possible when they pay good attention. Teach your children how to pay attention. Most of your children get to school, don't even know how to sit in the chair. They can't sit still for 5 minutes, full of all the damn popsicles and sugar and candy and annihilators and all that type of stuff. Can't sit still. Can't listen to nothing. This is the job we got to do. The boys and girls are separated in order that they may receive the proper training so they may not disgrace themselves. They're home. The boys are taught and trained to keep their bodies clean. Teach your boys to keep themselves clean. Charming. Let me take that part back. The boys' body are clean as well as their minds. Teach them how to have clean minds, good thoughts. How you do that? Exposure and setting that example. Take around people, man, that's got their mind on something good. Striving to be upright, having decent conversation, working on making progress. Take them to the library, science museums, art museums, history museums. Take them where they can learn, gather knowledge. It says they are taught to respect, it says, to accept their responsibilities, teach the boys to accept responsibilities. So you got to teach boys, man, I be around, little kids don't do no homework, they don't do no housework. They don't take the garbage out, they don't sweep up, they don't do dishes, they don't clean up as they get through. They just walking and in the phones and their head down and just walking until they get home and run to the refrigerator, but no organization, no responsibilities whatsoever. You go into the bathroom, the boys' bathroom, it's all jacked up. They ain't took time to clean it. You using it. Your mama got to tell you to take the garbage out all the time. Or someone come in and got to clean up behind you. No, you got to teach responsibility. They're taught to respect and protect the female. Now, I had that problem with my son because, Kalima and Vaisha, they were well protected by their brother because the brother wanted to court them. They had to come by the house. Pop, they didn't have to do nothing. They had to pass the test. The Asian one sitting on the porch of Brills, Ma, using all them. They're going to check the brother out. They might even have some gloves. They put him on, see if he can even fight. Or they're going to talk a little rough to him and, they testing him. See if the brother can stand up or you're going to be a little punk shy. You can't take my sister nowhere, bro. Understand what I'm saying? And they know that now you got these brothers, they're going to have to give her respect. Make sure they bring her back home on time and in time. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. That's protecting that female. And you men that let these crackers disrespect your woman and seeing a brother that he whooped the little girl, jacked the little daughter up, number 10 years old. And all this brother was standing there just pleading, please. Man, I'd have been in jail. And I ain't even been worried about being in jail. Man, that's the problem. I'm too scared to go to jail. And there's no way you're going to beat my baby. And you're going to have me on camera pleading. You're going to see me trying to throw down best I can with what I got. And then if I got some time, I still feel good about it because I did the right thing. You might not get no time at all if Allah with you. And they are taught to respect the property of others. Teach your children, respect property of others. We got too much damn thieving and stealing going on amongst ourselves. What you got to steal for? Gods don't steal. That's why I say teach them, you the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. God don't steal. God don't lie. Don't you know once upon a time on this planet Earth that the black man never knew what it was to tell a lie? Say it again. Amongst our people on this planet Earth, once upon a time, the black man never knew what it was to tell a lie. That's why we were so easily tricked by the devil, because we didn't lie. So when he said something about his mouth, we 9 times out of 10 believe what he said, because that's the way we live. Think about it, hard to imagine now, huh? But every other word come out of our mouth, we telling a damn lie. 9 times out of 10 and a half. It says, girls are taught and trained to keep their bodies clean, charming, and graceful. Not wearing combat boots. I'm sorry, sister, y'all on here. I'm sorry, I got to tell it like it is. They're taught loyalty, devotion, modesty, and morality. Well, what happened to the modesty and morality in our community? Everything done came off now. I mean, everything. But and the cold thing about this to me is that you done took off everything, but you want to be highly respected. Knowing the mind of the men in this country that's running around here, savage minded. How you gonna get respect when you don't carry yourself in a way to get respect? Sisters, I know you're here. This is what we have to start teaching in the homes to eliminate these problems when our babies coming up and our daughters. See, I got 3 bad daughters. It's Wada, Aisha, and Kalima. Kalima comes on this program. But they dangerous. Beautiful mothers, take care of the children very well. The children are all balanced, got good dispositions and manners, doing well when they go to school. And one incident they had, we was out at the park. I'm sitting at the table with my daughters, and Yusuf came. That's my other son. He had did something. He won't get into that part, but Yusuf, he stepped up to Vaisha, which he didn't mean no harm. That was just his way. Vaisha stepped up off the table real quick. She ready to roll. I looked around, Cleveland, and stepped to the side. I looked at Yusuf. I said, well, you can't win this one, brother. Yusuf ain't had no attention in the first place, but he recognized the fact. I wasn't trying to, step to you. I just stepped up, talk to you. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you got to get your girls, get your daughters right. Kalima went to karate class, taking her collars and going to tournaments. And Aisha been a natural born fighter, and she's a little bit dangerous. But she don't take any mess. She even try to check a pop sometime. Understand? I just call a little grasshopper, slow down, man. You understand what I'm talking about? You understand? But this is where you got to start bringing your children up, brother and sisters. Also, they learn how to cook and sew, to take care of their future husband and children. A lot of women can't cook. I don't be telling them about it too much, but when I first went to her house, she was young at the time, as well as I. So, she gonna cook me some breakfast, and she put the breakfast on the table, but the eggs were burnt and all that. You understand what I'm saying? But she cook her butt off now. The children used to didn't even eat her cooking. But she can burn now. These are the things that you have to teach. And the men have to learn how to cook as well. I learned from my grandmother and grandfather and stuff how to cook. Cook my little butt off right now. Get in that kitchen, burn what I want. Sometimes you have to show your wife with what I'm trying to tell you, brother. You have to take on all these tasks. You got to be multi-talented today. You just can't be one-dimensional, because people ask me what I do. I got to think a minute, because I can do a lot of things. Now, which one that I need to tell you about? I wear many, many, many hats. You understand? This is the God. These black men. This is what you put on. I specialize in one thing. I do quite a bit. It says, they're taught how to avoid everything that is shameful or that will cause them to have a guilty conscience. Don't do nothing gonna cause you to have a guilty conscience, because a lot of you carry that weight the rest of your damn life. This is what you got to prevent. See, this is the type of cooperation you need in the home. This you setting it up, and you setting it up for the future. This is what you're producing. That's gonna go down the road and represent you and the whole planet, and in particular God himself, if you believe in it. He said, children are taught a lesson in love by looking at how great Elijah Muhammad's love was for Allah and his people. You have that example for a lot of brothers today that's in front of the people. And the only way they can say that really because they got to have love for God and the people. Because that's a hell of a job. When you stand up against the oppressor, that's a hell of a task, but somebody got to do it. It says, Islam teaches severely against homosexuality. We don't discriminate against anybody. We had brothers come into a temple and they had a little sugar in their tank, and you come in there with that sugar, but you have to pour it out. You get the training and stuff. And we done had one brother came into the FOI class one night, Monday night, and we sitting up there and he was tripping. Talking about the brother was getting him eyes and all types of stuff. Brother, you gonna have to get up out of here. It's time for you to go, though. We ain't got time for that type of mentality. We trying to help you. You're not sitting up and talking about lieutenant and looking at ain't nobody looking at you, brother. Understand? Not on that level. We trying to help you and bring you about that condition because we know that's not you. You weren't created to be that way. The only way we got caught up with our slave masters when they brought us over here, and they did all those terrible and horrible things that they do to us, and they still do it today because we been over for money to have things and compromise our own souls, our own minds and well-beings for some things. Slick beasts. That's why you got to get them in the home and teach them, watch their TV. Matter of fact, watch the school curriculum now. That's why we need our own schools. It says fornication. I know I'm hitting on some things, brother. Adultery. Incest. We got a lot of that damn stuff going around. Incest in our damn community. When I was coming up, I really didn't pay a lot of attention to that. But then as I rolled older and started hearing the stories about when the women and was talking about, they rolled up about all the things that happened to them and stuff. And all these older men was taking advantage, and some were actually raping the children and the young girls and some of their own relatives and doing these type of things to these young girls. No, they got to be protected. Understand what I'm saying? Not playing that. I didn't play that with none of my daughters. You wasn't going to jump on them. You wasn't going to abuse them. Didn't playing none of that. I had people get mad at me. I'm a captain in the situation, and some things might go down, and then they gonna come around and try to take it out on my children. I had that happen too. I had with even 3 of my children, Yusuf, matter of fact, Jabril, and Vaisha. Vaisha, brother came way to our apartment building once we cleaned it up. He got us some trouble at the bakery. I actually saved him, but he came to the apartment building on the 3rd floor messing with his sister, but he came to start trouble, so they wanted to mess with my daughter, Vaisha. They don't pull their daughter out down in the parking lot, and she supposed to be a little tough, but they don't stick on Vaisha. I wasn't worried about Vaisha myself personally. So they tied up. Little girl, she knows she had made a mistake in this first 20 seconds. I used to tighten her up, whoop the butt pretty good. But now me and this brother got a problem because you don't come over here and start a problem with my family partner. And I had some of the fruit with me that day, and they said, I got this, bro, Captain. I said, don't worry about this, I'm mine all the way. And I just wait till it got night. I know he was going to run around the corner to the liquor store. I just called him on the way back. We had a conversation. Shit. I didn't kill him or nothing. But he ain't had no more problem. I ain't playing that. Worry about no damn police, none of that. Understand what I'm saying? This is the way we got to be, black man, for your family. It says it teaches against lying and stealing. We got a lot of that. We got too much of that going on in our family. A lot of lying and a lot of stealing. Brothers all up in people's houses and all this old crazy stuff. Don't know what the hell what's in there. You just breaking in. Go find you something to do. Find you some work. Create you a job. Let people stuff alone. You got to teach on these things. Backbiting. Hypocrites. The people who are envious. Just talk on envious. We do all this backbiting in our community over little stuff. Ain't about nothing. And all these bigger problems that we got to deal with. It teaches against drug addiction, alcoholics, gamblers, con men, pimps who are selling their own women and who place them in the hands of their own open enemy without protection. All these things on this list we got to work with now. We got to get some cooperation amongst ourselves to start eliminating this. And all these beautiful babies coming up, instill it in them. Put it in them heavy, but set the example. I had some of my children go into the store when they were little and pick up some stuff. No, take you back in there. You're going to face this one right quick. You understand? Let them know. No, maybe not turning the other cheek on that stuff. There's consequences for your actions. This is what you got to start teaching. This ain't hard. And it teaches us against those who have no respect for themselves or anyone else. You got a lot of people who don't have no respect for nobody, nor themselves. The teaching of Islam washes the mud from the eyes of our people, whereby they can see for themselves. See, when you started coming in these teachings, then you start seeing. Once upon a time, you couldn't see what was really going on around you. You couldn't hear because your eyes and ears were shut. You didn't know the truth. You were just going by whatever that your open enemy gave you and fed you in this history books and throughout the media and all this foolishness that he got going on through the educational system. You bought into all of that. And it teaches what you can see from yourself. They unstop their ears so they can hear for themselves. They straighten their tongues, whether they can speak the truth. A lot of us scared to speak the truth and know it. Scared to speak it because old Billy Bob might hear it on the news. I come in and get one of them notices. Gotta go, gotta go. So I ain't saying nothing. I mean, what kind of man is that? You can't even speak the truth in America for fear your livelihood being taken from you. I can understand why some brothers don't. But I ain't gonna put myself in that position where you're gonna make me less than a man. It says they straighten their tongues whereby they can speak the truth. They break the chains of fear and ignorance from their minds so they may understand themselves and others. See, we got to break them chains of fear, brother. We don't even have a clue of ourselves. And the reason I can say that because what's your name? There's the same name from the same list of your open enemy. You carrying that name after 400 years of being owned, and you still own because you still up under the owner's name. You ain't had enough sense to give that away because my grandmama, my grandfather, my mama. Look, I don't carry my mother's or my father's name anymore. My last name is Muhammad. Long live Muhammad. So Muhammad is going to make history. Muhammad is going to bring in the new world order for the black man and woman on this planet. Muhammad. When I go amongst our open enemy, when they see that name Muhammad, or they see this star and crescent, there's a different vibration coming from them. They the one that kind of like, a little tensed up or whatever. And you come in, you know how to sit on the square. When you're taking care of business, going in the courtroom, sit on the square. So when you're open enemy, he can recognize that you're a man that's sitting on the square and his thoughts are running on a straight path. You a man that has some knowledge of self, and you know your open enemy. So all the Masons and Shriners, and you sitting up there, they can't throw no signs because you know froze them in because you they father. They can't throw them signs and make them say this one down the road. We keep this one. No, he frees up all of that, and you get more consideration because you showing the fact that you're a civilized man. I've been stopped by police and all type of stuff. They had a bit of license. I'm suited and booted, and they pulled me over. And I know how to talk to the police. You know, when they pull up and say, "Well, you're like, well, sir, I don't have license, but they've been suspended, so I'm not going to take you through no lot of changes." Understand? You went back and check, see if you got warrant up, look good anyway. So, say, well, don't let me see you. We getting ready to pull off, but don't let me see you. I said, don't even worry about it. Shit, I go on, hit the other corner, go on about my business. Going to the courtrooms of America, have business meetings, the corporate America, sit on that square. Powerful. I'm gonna show you how to sit on the square when I get the opportunity to show you how to sit on the square and how you stand on the square. Oh, you're dealing with my sons and Shriners. They just 33 and a third Shriners, but you go 360 all the way around, complete circle. Let me get back to this. It says, Islam straightens their back, whereby they may stand upright and stop wallowing in the mud. It directs their hands and feet to do for self and not wallow in self-pity. That's another problem we got. We too busy damn near complaining all the time. You know, it's pitiful. Complain, 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 complain. What you gonna do? We can solve our problems easy, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, bring it together in unity. And Muhammad teaches all his followers to do nothing. And this is what this is a code, a creed that we should carry amongst ourselves. Muhammad teaches all his followers to do nothing to anyone that they would not have done unto themselves. Don't do nothing to anybody, brothers and sisters, that you would not have done unto yourself. Want for your brothers and sisters what you want for yourself, of good. Whether that person be black or white, it don't matter. We ain't teaching hate. The followers are not to bear arms and never to be the aggressor. We don't carry no arms, brother and sisters. No, not even a penknife. And we're taught never, ever to be the aggressor. You'll never see me being an aggressor. The only time I might become aggressive because I don't like you. And I know you're my enemy and I might be making a move on you or something. And then that's because we go on to war. But you never aggress your brother. Never aggress your sister. And sometimes our people might aggress you. That don't mean you got to respond in the same manner. Because a lot of our brothers and sisters got things on their mind going on in their lives. They mad. They're mad at themselves, mad at the world. So you got to recognize that fact. Many times I had brothers call me out my name and all type of stuff. We used to run this house with men in it, and they from all walks of life, and young, old, and homeless, and come in with all these different attitudes. And I'm gonna tell you like it is. And they don't want no man telling them what they should be doing, and it's correct. So they wanna step to you, and I play it off sometimes. Brother, on about your business, and come cool down a little bit later. Sometimes you let it slide so much. All right, now, you transform. By the way you're looking and the way you're getting ready to move, when they see that energy coming up, they sit down. Well, had all that in him, and they changed it too. Sometimes you might have to, touch a brother up and put a couple combos on him, something like that. But you still just not really that. You're not trying to destroy your brother. You're just trying to know, man to man. Now, this is not something that you're gonna be disrespecting and think you're gonna run it over and all that. So we get that understanding, then you become good people amongst one another. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of simple, but you got to be on the front line to get the job done. Never aggress anyone, man. Never be the aggressor, because I have from experience and what I have seen, most people that aggress another person always come up to losing in most cases. We not no bullies. That way, when you're not the aggressor, that means you got God on your side, brother. Somebody aggress you, you have the right. You know, and we as men, especially Father Basheer Muhammad, we never aggress anyone, because we know that we talking about when we fight to the death. There's not going to be no whooping and leaving me nowhere. That'll be your biggest mistake. That's why we avoid all conflicts as we possibly can. Because first of all, you're not here to do harm to your people at all. You're here to help your people. And when it comes to your open enemy, you got to be smart, because they'll try to set you up. And we done had them do that numerous times. The police, they'll send someone by the temple and beat on your windows and talking crazy and being loud and boisterous and threatening, while the police sitting across the street, down the street, seeing how you gonna react to that situation. But once you put your hands on them, here the boys come. And we be seeing those situations. We just know how to play it off and let the brother know it's going about your business, and you ain't did no damage and what have you, let you slide. So a lot of times our people be sick and hurting and be wanting attention in the wrong way. But the enemy be sending them. Brothers, you know, and a lot of us have lost their lives. We still are killing one another over foolishness. Brothers not even really fighting over anything that's really necessary. It's just over jealous and envy. It's just period, especially young soldiers out here. A little bit more, I do think. It says, well, that's it on the family. It's dealing with family relations. And I always want to put something in there with the family, because that's the key. That's the key to this generation that's here now. These young children, these young babies, they are not the same. They're different. They are not the same. They're different. They are coming here highly qualified and ready. The type of intelligence that these children are exerting or showing you, pay attention. Talk to them like they know. But if all that googly talk, these children coming here to take charge of this planet. That's why it's so important for you to set that right example and foundation, because they the ones going to bring about this change. You have to set it up. We got to set it up and put it into our babies. And then when they come into this world, you got to teach them what type of world they coming in. You got to let them know it's messed up. And this is the deal. This is what you're going to face. Don't give them that storyline that they give you on TV and these programs and these shows and all that. No, you tell them the truth and get them prepared. Let them know they gods and goddesses on this planet Earth and who they are. Let them know who the color man is, the Yaku, Graf the devil, skunk of the planet Earth. Tell them, this white boy. Don't be afraid to teach them the right way, because white folks teach their children all type of untruthfulness about us, and they very insecure. White people are so insecure and fearful of you. They're afraid what you might do once you get up, because everything is up under the code in white America to keep us down. We have learned how to what we have did in America, we have learned how to cope. We take a bad situation and make the best of it. Like a brother was saying, he was saying, man, my mom, So sometimes we had a house and we moved up from the south and show you the difference. You talking about Detroit, Hamtramck. On top of that, he said we got a 3-bedroom house. He said, well, we moved in. He said the people that moved out was the Jews because the Jews wasn't allowed to go amongst white folks at that time until they started letting them come into their community because most of them were school teachers at that time as well. And so when they moved out, a lot of times they were tricked to move out because the real estate agent would go to them and tell you your house worth $30,000, we give you 30. They would tell you, man, I ain't making nothing. So what they would do, they would go to the hoods, that the brother would say, and bring back a family and put them in the house. You know how we sit on the porch and braid hair, and that's our thing, front porch. White folks like to hide in the back so they can do their thing. And so they get all riled up and scared. My God, look at these niggers in our community. So now they want to move. You see what I'm trying to talk about? You say, well, they move out. Well, you got a 6-bedroom unit, but when they move out, what they're gonna do now? You're gonna end up a 12-bedroom unit because they're gonna change over, make it 12 bedrooms, so they can make more money. And you stuck in there with a crowd of people. You might have your wife, your children. You got 4 in one room. People coming up from the south. You might have 4 in the other, 4 in the other. And the brother that's working the night shift, he got the couch. So you got 13, 14 people with the same bathroom, using the same facilities, but they all learned how to make it in there. Somehow, till they was able to get out of it. But we learning how to cope. Like the brother say, one day they seen the rat run out the door from under the sink, and the mom came. So she went up under the sink and reached her hand up under there, and little baby's mice fell out, and now this big rat, mama rat, come out. You messing with her pups. So she come out to fight. He said mom was battling the rat with the broom, and she put the children on top of the table and hit the rat. He bleed, and he started coming. Finally get the rat out the way. And so she go back in there and reach her head behind the wall and the pipes and pull the whole nest out, get the rest of them out, flush them down the toilet. And you know how we used to back in them days, you get that steel wool and patch them holes up. That's coping. But when you didn't have enough food in the house, but you had enough ingredients where you can make a meal, you got some flour, some milk, some eggs, and get you some rice or whatever. You're making that whole cake bread and learn how to feed your family. I know people back in the day, they used to go out because they knew the herbs and the greens and what to pick from the herb, feed their families. I know people used to just go fishing just to feed the families. That's coping. Understand what I'm saying? We've been coping a long time. That's our defensive mechanism to white supremacy in this country. Learn how to cope. We've been doing that ever since slavery. And now we're going to have to figure out a way where we don't have to do that anymore. We got to change the dynamic so we can start to heal our minds, our souls, our spirit. Come together collectively to get the job done. And we want to do good work. And all the work we do, we're going to do like a God. And you're going to be fast moving, quick thinking, down to modern time. That's the way we have to move today in order to change our conditions in this country, ultimately on the planet Earth, period, so-called Earth. Black man, black woman.
That's a fact.
Oh, yeah.
That's an absolute fact.
And what I want to do, I don't know how long I've been on here, but I want to really hear from some of the brothers, some of you out here. And I want to talk with you a little bit, see what's on your mind and see where you're coming from. That way I can really learn how to connect with you. And I sit up here, I'm talking with you, I'm looking at this doggone camera. But I need to feel you, brothers, and see what's on your mind. And, come with some things, even if you want to talk about something that you ain't never talked about before, brother, bring it up. This discord, This infinite wealth strategy. You know, we building a family here. And you all should know that because the way Jabril deal with you all. Understand? You know, and I love the way my son, I'm not saying this because he's my son. Well, I dealt with a lot of men who call themselves helping their people, but he is really highly committed and serious. He give love back. I see how he makes sure y'all get taken care of. This is what good leaders do. This you help your people come up. Ain't no such thing as that I got the pot of gold and you over here, you ain't got no gold, you ain't even got a piece of silver. But if everybody sitting around the table has some gold, we got some wealth to take care of business. You got something to put in the pot, you know, like we used to do at the bakery. You know, we set up our own bank. Everybody put so much in the pot every week. We did it at the temple as well. Then we got up to about 50 G's. Anybody need a car, we can go to our own bank and finance it. Somebody had an idea, a good business proposal, then come to your in-house bank. And everybody in that in-house bank got dividends. Understand what I'm saying? This is the way we solve our problems, brother. It ain't hard. You just got to get up and start doing something. And all these things will come to you. But we ain't doing enough. Some brothers out here doing some pretty good work. I see some good brothers out here doing some pretty good work. Got their families in motion, got their babies in motion, and all of that. Well, we need to do this on a much wider scale. And I know it can be done because it's already being done. But it just got to be presented to the public. And I always keep a good, see if I got that for you. Give me 1 minute here. I thought I brought it with me. But anyway, I still got a business plan right now for community market. Been had it. Keep your plan, brother, sister, somewhere. We about business, but I'm getting back to Jabril. Jabril is he a good man. He a black man. He that Asiatic black man. He want for his brothers and sisters what he want for himself. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes he be a bit too powerful when he get around other brothers because they can't handle that energy. It's a little bit too strong sometimes. So they be trying to find a way to get away from it to a degree. You understand what I'm saying? And you're going to run into those problems. But as long as you got God and Allah with you, see, I don't need no likes on this stuff myself. So the only one I need to like me and stay close with me is Allah and the person, Master Muhammad. And the last and greatest messenger, most honorable Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad. And I know he's been with me for ever since I've been on my mission. Allah is with you. So you got a brother that God is with, is what I'm trying to say. You know, and he's in the program he's pushing is there ain't nothing fake about it. You know, it's a spiritual program as well because you got a lot of people that's tapping into it on the spiritual side. And you're learning, and you're growing, you're dealing with your people. And it's a hell of a task when you deal with the dead. It can take a lot out of you, but there's a lot to be gained from experience. You know, we're here to take over now. This infinite wealth strategy is most definitely a strategy because that's why I'm sitting here before you tonight. That's why my baby be on. You got Brother Basheer is coming with his spirituality to where you can throw off some of that energy through the course of the week, that negative energy, and connect with yourself and clear that out. Then it's going to get to a point when you start learning how to clear that energy out, you're going to learn how to project it. You understand? Something going to click. You'll learn how to project energy. Understand what I'm trying to tell you? Tell you what I know. I ain't talking about no guess or making up nothing. You can project energy. You know, energy, if you project it, it could interfere with thoughts. Understand what I'm trying to say? So y'all keep dealing with Basheer music. Because he going to take you somewhere you ain't never been. So what I would like to do, here's the 19 keys. I want to hear from the brothers a little bit if I can.
All right, so I have a brother here. I just sent out the link to the brothers to see if they wanted to ask questions, and we have a brother Jeremy here, and he wanted to come in and speak. So I'm gonna add him to the stream right now.
All right, brother Jeremy, state your name and let me know where you're from, brother. I can see you, brother. I can't hear you though. I'm waiting on you, Jeremy.
What's going on, fam? My name is Jeremy. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California.
Where you from, brother?
Right now, can you hear me?
You said something. You broke up on me. Where you from, brother? California?
Oh, let me. Oh, is
Who?
that better?
Yes. Repeat that. Where you from?
Perfect. Yeah, so I'm originally from Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Currently I live in Houston, Texas. And so yeah, I'm out here right now. I've actually met, Brother Keys twice, part of the BWO chapter out here. So no, it's just great to be on with you guys. I definitely love, what you guys got going on. Me meeting 19 Keys in person not only has inspired me even more, but he was the main reason why I kind of started this journey, I would say, on kind of bettering myself, bettering my family's, life goals and all that type of stuff. And so I've actually was glad that he actually started the Infinite Wealth Strategies, because it just really is helping not only myself, but I know anybody else who's a part of this, really stay focused and hone in on, who we really are, what our dreams, our goals, our aspirations are. And so I definitely, thank you guys for, putting this on. One of the questions that I kind of wanted to ask is, I guess, having a father, like yourself, and being so knowledgeable, having so much experience, be able to pass down to your children. I guess what would be like the best, I guess, method or route for someone like myself, per se, where I have my father around, but he's not really, I would guess, in tuned like yourself. He's kind of just going with the motions of the oceans, just doing what society wants everyone to do. It's not really there being as much as a teacher. And so I'm trying to get him inspired, get him motivated, to kind of be on the same journey that we're on, but it's just not really, kind of flying for him.
Well, brother, the fact of the matter that your father there with your brother, and what you got to understand is that sometimes your people are not going to be on the same page with you, first and foremost. But I think the way you can get his attention is by your actions. That's the key. You know how when you try to tell a person something they think they know, they don't really want to hear it. They hear you, but they don't hear you. They'll sympathize with you, but they'll go back to what they know. But the key is, brother, I think any man would want to see his children doing well, living good, living respectful, upright life. You have to set that example for your father. See, sometimes we learn from our children. I learn from my son. The real become with some knowledge, and hey, I do that too. Understand? We learn from one another, but set the example. Set the example for your home. Get your home right, brother. And when they come to your home, Pop, you set up a little thing. You come to my house, you got to take shoes on. Start inviting your father over. When y'all have family dinner sometime, and you all can have discussions. This is what you got to do, black man. It's not anything hard. And you seem like a young man, but because you came in, you say what y'all trying to do. No, it's what we're trying to do on a collective basis. This is really striving to pull us all together with the infinite wealth strategy and build up our families. And as long as your father is a good man, striving to do his best he can out here in a world that's been against him from the day he set his foot on this planet, that came about the womb of his mother, dealt with all of this discrimination and lack of opportunities. And that's why you see a lot of the so-called OGs lacking a little bit. But no, honor your father, respect your father, and learn how to understand it, brother, and keep moving forward and do good in life. And let's take over this planet Earth and regain our rightful place on this planet through our deeds and our actions. Because on the planet today, whether you believe in God or not, Allah is in charge today. And it's coming down now to which side you want to be on, God or the devil. If you can put it in the home, you can teach the same stuff they teaching in the world. That can be in your home. And the only thing that you're going to produce is a nigger. You want to produce a God, upright children, have an upright wife, be an upright man, be connected to that one mind in the universe. Just get in motion and doing the thing that you know that's right. Don't worry about your father. Give him love. That's all he needs, brother. That's all he needs. Show him love. You'd be surprised what love can do for a man that ain't really never had it. Understand? Especially you get it from your children, because a lot of times, you know, fathers, most things are held against the father, brother, be honest about it. You know, your children can hold things against you as well, because some of the things we did in our past when we were blind, deaf, and dumb. You know, I never held anything against my father, nor my mother. My father dead and gone. And last time I seen them, like I say, I was in the car with him. He bought a new outfit, and I was a little kid, probably about 4 or 5, I guess. And I sit down in the bottom seat somewhere on the floor and got my clothes messed. They gave me a spanking. I never saw my father again. It was a while before I saw my mother. So they took off and went somewhere to Denver or something like that. But I never held that against them, because I understood the world that they were living in and why they made certain decisions and took on certain actions, the things that they did. It wasn't no real fault of their own. That's the card that they were dealt with. So stick with your pop, man. Love him. You all learn how to work together on a collective basis, get that cooperation, and just move forward, brother. You know, and because your father he does carry a lot of wisdom. If y'all sit down and communicate in the right manner, but don't fault him. You know, you fought your open enemy. You understand? Because we are family. We all family. If I don't know you, my family. Because we come from that same one. You understand? We all connected, black man. So anything else you'd like to bring forward tonight, you want to speak on or get out your mind, something you've been wanting to say, you want to say to the listening audience? This is your opportunity, brother. I see you got the affairs on tonight. That crown.
I'm sorry, said it. Yeah, the crown. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you look good in the too, bro. Look good.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So let's talk, man. Come on. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess another thing that I kind of had on my mind was, I guess, really figuring out kind of what my purpose is, in life. I have a lot of different, I would say, things that I've thought about as in terms of being my passion. But at least for me personally, I've never really had anybody that kind of forced me to kind of develop anything. I was kind of always just doing what I wanted to do. And, I've kind of heard a lot of different people speak on it and say, hey, well, think back when you were a kid. What's that very first thing that, really drove you and motivated you to kind of want to do something in life? And not saying I don't necessarily have that, but I just feel like I'm really just trying to really hone in and really figure that out. I know personally, I am a good public speaker. I love talking. I love communicating with people. I would say one of the things that I've noticed about myself that I kind of, I guess, am original to myself is my voice. Like my voice is very recognizable. Anytime someone hears my voice, you know what I'm saying, they could put my the face to my voice, and what I was really trying to think about was, I guess, kind of more so trying to be that inspiration for people, especially like myself, being a man and having, not as a deep of a voice. So, walking around, not only in public, but on the phone and anything like that, my voice, especially on a recording, like I can know right now, my voice is just, going even higher than what it probably is in person. And so, that's something that I feel like I have a passion for, but I'm really trying to figure, okay, well, how do I really make that into something that I can really help other people out with,
You have, I mean, I was trying to catch the part. You say you have a passion for what?
I would say, communicating with people, being able to
Communicator.
speak and communicating.
Well, some
wanna-
people have that gift, and that's the beauty of running the business, brother. Cooperations. But we had many brothers, but everybody had different levels of skills that we could use. We had one brother named YG, and the very reason that we use him and we put him in the right position because he was a good speaker. He was a good people person. And so we would send him out to meetings and make contacts and set up different business deals. We sent YG because he was so personable and people liked him because he just know how to communicate with you and make you feel so much at ease and you feel comfortable when you sit down and get into the conversation. Sometimes we use him to open the door. Understand? So we can come in behind it. That could be your gift. Don't worry about your tone, brother, how your voice sounds. It's about how you living. You understand what I'm talking about? If you're living right and you connect, your voice sounds well to me. Might not have all that bass. You don't need that bass. You get that bass when you get mad, I'm quite sure. You understand what I'm saying? But find a way to use it. You might have to set up your own TV station. You don't know. Maybe you might have to become a broadcaster on your own station. That could be part of your gift because a lot of people use the word journey or what their gifts might be, but hell, you can have more than one gift. To be honest about it, I'm quite sure I ain't stuck with just one gift as I went through time. But if you see, the thing about this, and plus another thing, you might be a good writer. If you know how to write your thoughts down, write them down. Because you're young and we always seeking. We're always seeking our level. Where is life taking me? You own your journey. Look inside yourself and use the tools that you've been blessed with. And for the black man in America, brother, see, we have so many obligations and responsibility to where part of your responsibility, though, brother, once you get enough knowledge, is to strive to build a nation for yourself and be independent. Just think about that. You strive for independence. You strive to have freedom, justice, and equality. And what comes along with that? Peace, love, and happiness. You understand what I'm saying? So quit beating yourself about your voice, brother.
Yes, sir.
Man, don't worry about all of that. You a God walking on this planet Earth, stomach in, head up, chest out. That's all that's necessary. I know what you're trying to say, but you ain't one of them, soldier. So don't worry about that. You understand what I'm trying to say? Just do good and be upright, brother. And sometimes you just got to get in motion. You start connecting up with other brothers. Maybe Allah, God has sent you in the right direction because you are a gift to the planet. You're a gift. Every man, woman, and child to come on this planet and strive to be upright are a gift to the human family. I can see your spirit. I can see your aura. It's peaceful. You're clean looking, brother. Your skin look well. You talk very mannerable. You talk like a guy. You talk like a man. You don't sound ignorant. You don't talk like a savage. I'd rather talk to a brother with a voice like yours. I didn't pay no attention to the voice until you made me aware of it. Don't be so down on yourself about your voice, brother. Be yourself. I can tell my twin, be yourself. You one out of the 4,600,000,000, they say it's 6.8 now. I don't know. But you special. That's it. Do good, be upright, brother. How many children you got? You got
I don't have
family?
any kids.
You don't have children?
No.
Well, you're in good shape right now. You is. You ain't got nothing holding you back at all.
Yeah.
Your aspirations and goals are unlimited. So up, you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. Say it again. Up,
You mighty
you mighty
nation.
nation, accomplish what you will.
What
The
you
reason
will.
I say it like that, because within you, brother, within all of us, we got a nation of people. I take one man, one woman, put them together, we can produce a whole nation. You carry a nation of people within yourself, in your DNA and in your structure. We got a whole nation of people in the black man. So just go be yourself, brother. Don't worry about your voice, because it's about how you think. It ain't so much about how your voice sounds. With your eyes and ears are open where you can see, connect with your family, back with your pop, try to do the right thing, stay your butt out of trouble. Understand what I'm saying? Easy to get in, hard to get out of. Be a good example. And I'll give you this example. You know, with Dr. Bay, he used to tell us, how much he used to love his mother. And he said one day, he was walking because his mother worked a lot. She was a nurse, and she was always busy. And his father would take him with him when they do yards and lawn care. And he'd be picking them dandelions with the little knife, and how the yard be so nice. And white folks come out and say, "Well, we did such a good job." We said one day the brothers came by. He was going down the street, and his mother was at work, and brother said, "Come on, Joseph, jump on in." So he started to jump in the car, and he looked. He said, "Where y'all get this car at?" I understand. He said, "Man, don't worry about that. Come on." But he thought about it. He said, "No." He said, "Because if I jump in that car and y'all get stopped by the police, I'd call the case." He said, "I got too much love for my mother. This woman working hard day and night. She on the job now." He said, "If I got busted in this car or stole the vehicle, it would break her heart." That's love. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't get in that car. They did get stopped. They did get busted and went to jail. See, we can say we love something, but your actions will really dictate all of that, brother. Like they say, love is an action word. It's about what you're doing. It ain't about what you're saying. You understand what I'm saying? So you on the right track, brother. Just the fact that you're here tonight. You the first man I talked to come out on infinite wealth strategy and express himself. See, that's what we got to do. We got to be able to ask the question. Sometimes it's just the fact that we can express ourselves to someone else. Sometimes that's all we need, because we hold so much in us. You understand what I'm saying? We be talking to ourselves. Thoughts be circulating 24 billion miles per second in our mind. You understand? But sometimes when you project it and let it out, and sometimes throw it out to the universe, you get the answer back. You understand? You in good shape, brother. That's all. Just try to build a nation. We have to come together collectively and build something for ourselves now. That's your job. Actually, that is your job, to build a nation now for our people. We are men. We're not boys. We should not be up under another man's dictate that don't care anything about us, not even your family. Don't care nothing about your father and the children that haven't even been born yet. You understand what I'm saying? So it's our job to build a nation for ourselves. And all we got to do is do what? Get in agreement. Just that simple. We gonna work on these things. So if we got anything else, brother, we got anybody else on the line, Jabril?
There's somebody, Monica, but I wanted to touch on that as well.
Come
That
on with it,
subject
so
that the brother just asked about. Um, um, you know, I know that every time as adults, we carry the things that were embedded on us as children. You understand me? Often the time, the worries that we have, the issues that we have, they didn't happen when we was 21 years old, 25 years old. You understand me? Even 18 years old. Usually they happen when we was 4, 5, 7, 9, 13. And we never got to a real point of resolution because our perspective on, that memory hasn't changed, right? And it influences our behavior and how we see ourselves. And, one thing I learned growing up with a lot of brothers is that, you know, you have to determine who you are for yourself, because you can carry on words and insults and believe that it's true. You understand me? And because, especially when it comes from people that's close to you or peers, you know, you can start to take on characteristics of these habits, because names have frequencies. And when a person throws an insult or tell you that you something, you know, the law of suggestion, that you start to believe that it's your idea. You understand me? And so you have to go redetermine, and you have to be cognitive of the things that trigger you. You understand me? And that you're more prone to those things. You understand me? When they come around you, because as you asked about your voice, right? And I can think of many times me and my younger brothers and my older brother, we used to throw insults at each other, and we had to be cognitive of that as an adult, because you realize that, whoa, that person really believed that, or that person really still holds that on their heart. And if a person don't have the psychological analysis to go back in their past, you understand me, and change the perspective of what they was given as a child, they walking around as adult, still fighting that thought, still fighting that memory, still thinking the rest of the world see them that same way. And that's not the reality. The rest of the world don't see it. You know, the reason I keep bringing up the different laws of the universe, because when you really understand how to walk around and apply them, then you realize that for every problem, there's a law that deals with that problem, right? And so as we understand and as we do the law of, comparison, and, the law of reflection and the law of gratitude, whatever you water grows. You understand me? That if we continue to think upon thoughts in a way, whether you think in a negative or positive, you're still growing that. You may be putting negative energy, but you still putting energy into it. And so the development in your voice is something that you actually can control. You understand me? Like, you can control the fluctuations of how you speak from, right, your chest, or how you speaking from the back of your voice right here, right? Because oftentimes you have more air. That's your spirit. If you cut off the picture right now and all you hear is a voice, right? I like to use this analogy all the time. If I was to go onto an island and I told the rest of my family, listen, you never gonna see me again. I'm going to this island to isolate for the rest of my life. And they took that as truth. They don't know if I'm alive or not, right? But if I could make recordings, you understand me, and just send my voice out, and they hear my spirit, they hear my energy, and they still think that I'm alive, because they will still have that spirit reverberating in their head. And it's the voice that is the spirit that produces the frequency of our being, right? But having that ability as a leader or a speaker to be able to project yourself, like, it's actually a skill set. Speaking and voice fluctuation and tonality is something that recording artists work on. You understand me? Breath control. So you also have to understand that nobody cares or hears your voice the same that you do. I remember a long time ago, I was recording something with some brothers out in Oakland, and I remember playing it back, and I'm like, damn, that's how I sound. And they was like, yep, you sound like this, because they wanted me to be insecure about my voice. But in my head, I said, nah, I sound good. You understand me? I always had that ability to correct the insults in my head, so it never became my memory. You understand me? Like, I always wanted to filter it through my confidence, not theirs. You understand me? And so once you learn to find and pinpoint the specific memory, right? And when you first thought that about yourself, and when somebody first suggested that to you, then you go have the ability to change the perspective on it. And then you can work on actually fluctuating. My older brother taught me about the ha, and the ha, right? H-A. If you look at most words and how they are sounded, right? Allah, right? There's a one syllable, right? Allah, Moses, Jesus, all of these things that have one flow, right? And ha allows you to tap into that frequency, and it reverberates to the back of your throat, and it reverberates to the top of your skull, into your head, awaken your senses and awaken your brain. So if you practice the ha, right? You practice that chi. You practice speaking from, okay, I'm in my, like when we talking to people, sometimes we got this indoor voice and we don't even catch ourselves. We just speaking like this. Then we around places where we not as confident, like the amount of air that you put inside your larynx changes around different people. So you have to be conscious of it, because the voice that you have, the same way if you go look at brothers who come out the closet and then all of a sudden they got a homosexual voice and their voice go hella low. Like there's no, it's crazy, but we see it happen. Why is it that homosexual brothers have such a flamboyant voice? They put that on to them because that's what they know as to be breeded as that particular voice. And so they take on that persona and that energy and they start speaking less than themselves. So the question becomes is, are you speaking? Are you projecting to the full point of your ability? You understand me? You already had a confidence in the courage. Courage is the ability to act in the face of fear. So I'm sure you didn't want to have to come up here and speak to everybody and talk about, you understand me, the insecurities that you've had towards your voice and the way that you feel as a man. But when you do that, that's the very act of manhood, the very act of manhood. You understand me? So you now have taken something that was a negative and transmuted it, you understand me, to a positive attribute of masculinity just because of something that you went through and you found different ways to get over it. Like, I'm not going to allow this to be something that's an impediment to my progress. So you went inside your mind and found rationality and intellect and found reason to continue to keep growing. And in that process is manhood. You understand me? We can intellectualize, you understand me? We can rationalize and we can come to great reasoning and we can find many different ways so that we can continue to move forward, because that's the man's job, is how do I move forward? When we get stuck, we get depressed because we don't have alignment with our next move. You understand me? So we trying to figure it out. When you don't have a job, man, go into depression. You understand me? You're overeating, overindulge into things that have nothing to do with your next move because you don't know it. A brother go fill out 1,000 applications and they keep telling him no, then you get stuck. And you like, I don't know what to do. So the depression is literally the energy trapped into you. So just the fact that you learn how to, and as men and as the development of men, like I said, we continue to find ways to move. You understand me? And so that's the sperm is the motion. That's our first, we moving as that sperm. You understand me? And then we develop with that X and Y after we get into that womb. You understand me? And we have the ability to continue to grow and be great. So as a man, you have to continue to move and continue to grow in self-development. You understand me? So take that, matter of fact, I want to hear you hit them with because I promise you your voice can change, because I know my voice changes. Like when I project it like this and it's speaking from my stomach, you understand me? That's different than when I'm speaking like that. I catch myself, and that's like more of my California. You understand me? Growing up in different parts of the country, you get different ways that you speak, just observing from a child, letting you know how to fluctuate your larynx in the air, you understand me, that you put in your lungs. And for the most part, we don't even breathe right. So as men, when we can control our breathing, we can control our energy, we control our lives, we control our power. If somebody gets you upset, it's because they controlled your spirit. You understand me? They controlling your breathing. When a man is having sex with a woman, at the point of climax is when he no longer can control his breathing, his ki and his energy, and then it's released. So in that same retrospect throughout life, you understand me? You are always working to control your own energy, because that's what they do. You understand me? And so we have to learn how to control our spirit. And that's really the depth of the question. But more than that, we have to learn to control our memories. You understand me? And when you control the memories, you start to walk again with confidence, because you realize that there's parts of yourself that are consistently being re-triggered because of something that you went through yesterday, not today.
No, that's great. I definitely appreciate that viewpoint. And, I can say that in a way, I definitely learned that throughout the years, right? Because again, I kind of accepted, hey, well, this is how I sound. This is the way it is. Because I know with me, I always have high energy, right? So even though my voice is like this, I don't let that really affect me too much. Because again, it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, I just wanted to, I would say, kind of just get another person's opinion, right? And especially with you, 19 Keys, I heavily respect you. You're actually the reason why I joined BW in the first place was because of the way you speak, and so yeah, so again, it was just something that I didn't want to get off my chest again, just to kind of, get that clarification, especially with your pops, being as influential as he is, it's just good to kind of hear it from a different, perspective and a point of view. Because like I said, I understand that, hey, like you said, when you do get mad, when you do get upset, when you are sad, obviously, like you said, your voice does fluctuate, and I definitely noticed that about myself, especially when I hear myself re-record it, and so no, I definitely really appreciate, you guys putting the time to definitely re-shore that up. Can't give you guys enough gratitude for that.
Yeah, this is basically what this is set up for, to bring those type of things out, because if he one point Jabril did make us around the PPB around, because if you'd have been an actual FOI class, training class, and I would have told you, brother, put a little bass in your voice, because when you're around men, we roar like lions, so to speak. And you easily able to do it. You just never been in those type of situations where you really had to do it. And Jabril made another good point, because when you growing up, there's a lot of things that young children put on one another. Even with I can always use examples in my family. Even my other son, Yusuf, I don't think he mind me talking about it. Well, his brothers used to tease him about everything. But I started to notice that once he started getting older and growner, and they tried to keep him at the same level. So that's why he had to really get away from his own brothers so he can grow into himself. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get away so you can learn how to be your own self, not for somebody else telling you that you should or ain't doing. No, you have to find your way. In classes, we tell them, man, put a little bass in your voice because you're supposed to sound a certain way. And like the Jabril gave you the key, just really the breathing, the way I breathe is the way you're supposed to breathe. Through the nose, from the lower stomach, through the chest. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. That's the way you come into this world, breathing from the stomach through the chest. Exhale through your mouth. It's real easy, and those are little things that we haven't even been taught. Little small things. And appreciate you coming on, discussing that, but that's really not an issue for you. You can correct that very easy if it makes you uncomfortable. Just correct it. Like the Jabril say, you got people out here, that's how sometimes you got people out here to be looking just like women and stuff. And you have to be careful out here, and some of them be trying to lower their voice on you. Yeah, there got to be something going on with this one. Understand what I'm saying? Because you done lowered your voice and trying to sound more feminine and stuff, but that's really not your case, but you just haven't been around enough to be honest about it amongst men and soldiers, the way we express ourselves. See, the environment is so important. Again, it's the environment that's being produced for us that's taking our masculinity and our confidence away and our self-esteem away from us. And we have to have those tools you need to go through life with, because you're going to face so many, many, many challenges. And there's so many things that you're going to be able to come across. And you got to be armed with the tools to deal with it all. Like you say, depression. You got so many brothers that's suffering from depression, that's locked in energy. To me, is locked in energy. And you have to learn how to release it. And it's hard to do that when you always got something coming back to back. But at the same time, now you are a God that have that ability to do all those things. And I don't know how much time we got. I would really like, if we could, we can get one more in. And if not, what I would like to say tonight is what we must do something for ourselves now. And we got to learn how to deal with one another. And what we're going to do is that we're going to come with the art of proper handling of people, because we don't really know how to handle one another. We have lost that art, and we have so much envy amongst men and jealousy. We'll have to learn how to cut that out. We got to cut it out. And you do that by associating yourself with like men. You know, and that's the beauty of it as well when you growing up. The brothers that I growed up in, the circle of brothers, see, we didn't have that amongst ourselves. Jealous and envy amongst ourselves. We were tight, just like brothers. And we always protected and respected and looked out for one another's family and made sure they were secure. One of us out of town, we ride by the house, check on the family. Anybody in the family need anything, they was taken care of. And as well as being protected. Those are the type of things you have to start developing amongst yourself. And once you start doing that, other things started growing from that. Actually, you learn how to protect your community. You do that openly and willingly. You know, you protect the elders in your community. When I was growing up, we had what they consider today, they call them wine heads. We had Willie Piggy, Tennessee, Indian Joe, and all of these men. But they were highly respected by us. And they had their own little homes and stuff, wasn't a whole lot. Stayed across the tracks. And they would drink, you know, they drank that wine, that old silver satin, but they worked as well. Some of them worked at the scrapyard in those old factories and stuff, and they'll come home and they'll come down on the block and talk with us and give us knowledge. And we loved the brothers. And a lot of them was in position because they had got in bad relationships. The woman had left them for someone else and all of this, and they still trying to maintain their children and all these type of things. So the brothers were really, really, really struggling, but they were maintaining themselves. But they came to the block and gave us knowledge. And whatever they needed, so even when they got too drunk to make it to the house, we would put them on up under our arms to make sure they got to the house. Whenever they came up short, because we on the block, we doing all right. And needed something, we made sure that they had it. All they had to do was come ask. You couldn't do no harm to them. That was not allowed because they were our elders, but they had so much knowledge that they would come down and give it to us based on their experience in life. This is what we got to start doing, is reconnecting back with our own humanity and our own family. I see you got somebody that popped up on the screen there. So it's get him in right quick on my phone. Gonna run out for long. And Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Peace, brothers.
How's my brother tonight?
I'm doing fair. I'm doing.
It's always good to see the soldiers, brother. Telling you. What's your
Yeah.
name, soldier? Tell me where you're from.
My name is Ronald. I'm from Vallejo, California.
What part of California? Speak up a little bit for me.
Vallejo. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, you're out of Vallejo, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, you know, I'm right down the road, right down at Oakland down there. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to come in. I seen y'all needed somebody to come in and say something. So I was gonna come in and just put something together. So I got 4 sons. One of them's 15. You know, he young. He want to date. He plays sports good. He good at sports. I make sure he got his grades good. But at the same time, he like to chase women. Little girls like normal little boys do. And you know, and like I'm trying to teach them, you know, and at this age and this time right now, you know how these young guys, these kids is, they smelling themselves, they feel like they grown, you know, with music and you know, just the internet, you know, it's really just kind of hard to you know, just to for them to understand where I'm coming from when they hearing so much other outside stuff now, you know what I mean, with the internet and music, and they feel like this is right. So what I'm pretty much trying to say is, like, I see like you and your dad, and you know, my dad was in my life too. You know, he was he grew up as a Panther and all that as well. Um, but it's like me right now. I'm trying to get my son, you know, on course, and you know, I want him to, I'm trying to teach him about business and all that. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to go at that age, and you know, how can I reach him with so much other stuff that he hearing right now, like he, you know, with music and stuff like that.
Well, brother, that's a difficult job right now. Like you say, with so much going on. But you was talking about business. And one of the best ways to get your son up under you is if you were able to open up a business.
Yes, sir. I got 2 businesses.
And then you need to get him involved in working in the business, because in that business environment that you set up, that's where you set up all your morals and values and principles within that business structure.
Yes, sir.
While you on that job, you got to carry yourself a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? You got to communicate and speak a certain way. That's the first step, and start teaching your son. You got to get them with you. That's the problem that we have, because see, a lot of them don't have no business, can't open no business, don't have the resources where we can get our children from day one. We used to have the bakery, we had a little baby sitting on the table, on a little piece of that dough. They see, you know, the children learn. Watch adults rolling that dough. They give them a little piece, they rolling, playing around with it. And pretty soon, as they growing older, then they can come into that job, because you can take them to business meetings. You can show them how to run the business, what it takes to open it, how to be reliable, dependable. Understand how to close, be on time, because you got to be on time.
Yes, sir.
And as far as young ladies, young girls, you know, sex is like cocaine. So you get a shot of it, you want some more, and some more, and some more, and you have to teach them how to court. But he's too young. He's really too young. He really should be at a certain age where you can take on responsibility. And instead of running around here trying to have sex, well, I don't know if that's what he's doing or anything, but I'm quite sure if you get the opportunity, it probably would.
So he did. So he did.
Understand? But you got to teach him, though, bro. You got to tell him. You got to teach him about responsibility. And then, you know, you have to really set it up, because, you know, sometimes you might have to contact their family on the female side. Understand?
Yes, sir.
And you know, and let's get an understanding here, because I don't want my son getting your daughter pregnant, first and foremost, because he's not in no position to take care of anything. He's still in high school. See, we got to knock down some of these barriers that we don't want to cross, because you trying to put your son in a position to go down the road in life. We have a child by a 15-year-old, couple of years, they ain't gonna be interested in one another in most cases. Now you got a baby. You got a baby on the sideline. But it got you involved, because now that's your grandbaby. You want to make sure it do well. So we got to really, you got to get with them. We know we got all these things, the internet and all this influence in the school and all that type of stuff. But the greatest influence is in the home. Set your home up, brother. And you know, and that's very dangerous, brother, because young brothers at that age, you know, they get in that rebellious stage. I had a good friend of mine, a good partner of mine, you know, he got killed by his own son. Not to say that would happen to you. But we had a meeting, a business meeting. We brought some of the young brothers, some of his friends and stuff, and they was expressing themselves about how they would like it. They didn't have this and what they wanted to do with their life. And they was in high school, and they already hadn't even seen the future for themselves in high school. And I told the brother, I said, brother, you get your son up under you. Because he had that G in it. He's a little bit, you know, what I'm trying to say. He wasn't afraid. He had that little gangster in him. I could see it in him. And you look at his eyes, you tell where he's moving and sitting, the body language and things of that nature. And eventually him and his father had fallen out, brother. And And something that happened first time, I think he shot at his father or something. He called me and told me what had happened. I told him, brother, you got to be careful, brother.
That was
What happened though is one day I think his mother actually picked the son up, and brought him to his house, and he stabbed his father to death more than one time. And I know he didn't really mean to do it, but he was walking around with all this pent up anger in him. The way he got it from because the failures in life that he saw, that the road that he was on, brother. So you got to get with him. You got to find a way. There's no excuses.
yes, sir.
You got to walk with him, talk with him, quit talking at him, and talk with him because they ain't gonna be so much boss, and then you want to control them because they in your house. You understand? You think you got full rights and control, but you got to find another way. You got to take them around people, brother. That's doing positive and constructive things with men, and introduce them to men that's taking on tasks and building something and doing something for themselves and setting an example and show them how it go, man. Show them, brother, if you don't do this, because I would take children into school, I'd take them to the block where you can see the dope fiends where people that fail, sitting out there on them drugs and looking all sideways and out of it. Brother, if you don't do this, that, and another, this your future. How you going to take care of that baby when you don't even know how to fill out an application? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
You
sir.
might have to put him in some classes somewhere. Take him around the fruit where you can get some of that manhood put in him because he's just young, brother. That's all he is. He's trying to find his way and think he knows his way. Don't know he blind, deaf, and dumb, and don't know anything at this point. Only thing he know is I'm cute.
Right.
Well, I know I'm cute because the girls are telling me I'm so. You understand? You're buying all these old designer clothes and stuff that you're putting on him and stuff like that. No. Get your son up under it, brother, and start talking to him. Talk to him like he's a man. Don't fuss at him, but talk to him. Develop that conversation. Don't let your son get away because one night you might get a call. You might not be able to get a chance to talk to him no more. You understand what I'm saying? This is very, very important. That's our responsibility. Get that cooperation back in the home because this is what this is set up for. This whole system is designed to keep the black man down. And I'm talking about your child. You understand? All of this negative influence that's feeding into the minds of our children. You have to counter that, brother. No excuses. Get that young man. Understand? You should have had him on here with you tonight.
I should have.
We'll bring him back next time. Let's get him on here, brother. We're going to start working with it. That's all. We just have to work with our children, brother. They going to get sniffed neck from the belly. Sometimes they think they got so strong, they want to try you too. Understand what I'm saying? You know how it go. But Pop got to be that God in the house. He got to make that adjustment. You understand what I'm saying? And your wife, your woman, whoever it is, y'all got to try to get on the same page with it because sometimes both of y'all ain't on the same page as it relates to that matter. It makes it harder. You understand? Set down some guidelines and some rules, brother. You can't be out all night in my crib now. Come on now.
That's
Understand what I'm saying? Running in, knocking on the door 3 o'clock in the morning and all that. Man, sleep out there in the yard somewhere, partner. Understand? You ain't getting in tonight. You get kind of cold up there in Vallejo. You know that. Understand? So those are the things we got to do, brother. That's all. Just get back with your family, with your son, start talking with him, start giving him knowledge, and start exposing him to other avenues instead of that school system. Instead of that environment when he go out your house, start exposing him to other things, brother, that's more constructive and creative and productive, where he can see himself growing into this world and taking charge of it. Tell him he a God. Hell, you don't know he God. How you gonna be one?
That's
you ain't never told him who he was. How he gonna be? You just call him by his name. It's really not his name, but that's the name we carry. You understand? Go get your son, brother. That's priority. Get him onto the infinite wealth standard. We need to get more of these young men in here so we can have a round table discussion. And the main thing about it, they need to express themselves because let them express themselves, then you can see where they're coming from. Then that's how you know how to find ways to get into them. Understand? You just can't fuss with especially a young man trying to find his way fussing and all that old type of stuff and being threatened, it don't work. It didn't work on you, probably. How the hell it gonna work on your son? You understand what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
get him, brother. Get that young man back into the house. And if a young girl comes to the house, hell, I want to talk to you too, sister. Let's have a little conversation here. You understand? This is what's on my mind relate to this situation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got to talk to your young girls as well. You coming to my house. Understand? But you ain't be sitting up in my house with all that other foolishness. You know, you should have, when you come to the home, they should be up under escort. They should not be allowed to be by themselves. Always should be someone there with them. Start setting it up like that. They ain't gonna like it. But you're gonna have to follow this because this is the protocol in the home. Understand what I'm saying? These are the things you got to start developing. We ain't set up no protocol when it comes to dating, but we think they supposed to fall in line. There's nothing been established on how they supposed to move on how to court. They don't, you ain't never talking about how to court, I'm quite sure. Because they just come up, they grow up all of a sudden. Now they right here in front of you. Now you're trying to talk at them. But you got to teach them, brother. Teach them. And then make sure we take on responsibility. Understand what you're talking about?
Yes,
No,
sir.
you got get that brother responsibility. That's your son. That's your seed. That's your future. That's your future generation. That's your legacy, brother. Because he gonna have some children. You gonna have some grandbabies. You got a finger popping wife. You gonna have some finger popping children. Understand what I'm saying? Not saying these young ladies are like that. 9 times out of 10, with all the stuff that they been influenced too. Remember that.
Right
They
on.
been influenced as well. They don't know no better. They just as dumb as hell. All these young girls out here, man, they're getting abused out here. When they get 17 and 18, they minds already messed up like they grown women because they've been so misused and unloved. And then you got young brother messing with young girls like that. They ain't got no connection for real. It's just all sexual. You understand what I'm saying? So get your father, get your son back up on you, brother. That's your job, to find a way to get him on track. And you still got plenty of time to do it. But I appreciate the fact that this is what this is about, that you come on and put this on the table. See, we got to start putting things on the table because we family. And we got to start acting as such and treating these situations as such and finding solutions to these problems. We got the solutions. We just got to discuss them, put them on the table, and find a way to get the job done. You understand? Tell your son you love him. Understand? But at the same time, you got to give him that tough love as well. You understand? You got to give a young man tough love as well because he'll understand that too. Understand? You can't just keep pushing the broom down the road. I got to give you a little tough love, son. I know you ain't going to like me. Understand? But hell, I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to set up a future for you to where you won't have to go through none of these things. Understand that you see people around you going through. You know, that's the best I can give you at this point in time, brother. Get your son back up under you, brother. It might seem like it's a task because I understand where you're coming from. You know, and they're going to get that stiff-necked and rebellious. But in most cases, brother, I'm going to tell you, that's just a phase.
Yeah.
Understand? Going through a phase now. Trying to find their way. Now, you're coming from a baby, a boy. Now, the hormones are kicking now. You got bigger and stronger. You know, you're looking at yourself a little bit more in the mirror. You stand in the mirror trying to get them waves and all of that old type of stuff, brother. It's just a phase, man, because males go through different phases. I've known from boys, can be boys, and they can be, most boys, to tell you the truth about it, when they growing up a certain age, they're not very aggressive. Males are not aggressive. They learn how to be aggressive as they go along. I know young boys that growed up, man, they didn't fight to do none of that type of stuff. You understand? Sometimes you have to tell them you got to step it up a little bit. But they grow out of that phase, and then they become more aggressive. So there's a balance in their growth and development, you know, and that's what we're missing out from that 13 to 15 to 16 category, where they started changing because they're going to change. They got to change. You can't stay the same. And then a good thing about it, at least he, at least he got his manhood. At least he got his eye on the right pride. At least your son, he's straight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in
Yeah.
this world today, hell, that's a plus by itself. You understand?
Oh.
I know you ain't running around here with no sugar dripping on you and all of that type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So you good, brother. Just get your son, man, talk to him, man. Sometimes you might even have to take a little trip or something, That's all. Figure it out, brother. That's it. Real, you got anything you want to add to this conversation? So I don't think you can hear me, huh? Real.
Yeah, I wanted to one more thing.
One more thing, so
Can you hear me clear?
Come on with it, brother.
Oh, so I was gonna say,
Can you hear?
All
right, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We hear you now. Say that again, brother.
Oh, so what I was gonna say is,
when
about one of your friends people that you knew had lost their son, or they had lost their lives to their son. So that was another thing that I was gonna touch on. So my son actually just witnessed his mother's boyfriend get murdered in their house in front of his face. So right now he kind of going through that. This is first, he, being 15, will actually seeing somebody be murdered, and it's the son, and that guy's son actually was the one that killed him. So right now I'm just trying to, like, it's like I'm trying to, like, he keep coming to me telling me how he just, like, that's all he can see right now, and he don't know how to take it. So it's like, I don't know what I'm like right now. I'm just trying to, it's like I'm keeping him with me. I'm trying to, I'm trying to figure out the words to say to make him feel like, but that's real traumatizing for somebody his age to actually see somebody be murdered like that.
Of course it is.
I want to say something on that.
Go ahead on, Jabril.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
God damn. I think Pop's his phone probably
You going in and out, Keys.
Can you hear me now? Am I coming in?
You come in a little better.
All right, 1 second, good brother.
Okay.
And really clear.
And really clear. And really clear. And really clear.
All right, there we go. All right, we good to go now? You can hear me?
I can hear you good now.
All right, solid. I was gonna say, yeah, man, trauma leaves a terrible impression on the mind, man, emotionally. You got a lot of feelings that you got to deal with. And one of the biggest issues with males specifically is that we don't have emotional experience. So therefore, we don't know how to deal with the full range of emotions that come to us. We don't know how to pinpoint what the hell am I actually feeling. You understand me? What did it actually do to me during that time? So it produces a lot of confusion in us. You understand me? And that confusion have us seeking ways to try to cope with what we feel instead of go through it. And as men, we got to figure out how to go through the full range of emotions. And you be in an environment that allows you to be able to explore those thoughts and those emotions and those feelings. So being in the city, you understand me, and being consistently in those environments just re-trigger the emotions, but it don't allow you to figure them out. You understand me? And one of the most probably important things that you can do is to remove him from that environment to allow his mind to go through, you understand me, those full range of emotions to express itself, to understand itself. You understand me? And so I think less of a vacation, but more of, you know, an escape. You understand me, for a moment. Like, you know, even taking your son hiking and through nature, right? Like, I don't know if he works out or he does any sports or anything of that nature. Like, the mind needs places to where it's distracted so it can figure out what the hell is going on with us. You understand me? But I know for a fact that there's many different forms of therapy. It's not just talking to a person, right? Because talking to a person, that's allowing you to express what's in you. You understand me? Allowing you to heal by revealing. You understand me? They say you can't heal unless you reveal, right? And nature, especially for men, is feminine, right? All things nature is feminine. That's why, you know, we seek women around us, because we want that feminine energy to balance us out. You understand? So we gonna always seek that feminine energy whenever we can as men, because we need that to balance out that masculine energy, because that feminine allows us to understand our emotions. So we seek intimacy, but when we think about intimacy, we think about it only in the aspect of lust. We don't know how to communicate, so it becomes a cycle. You understand me? That's not healthy, and it leads you down the rabbit hole, because you only get further away from understanding yourself because of your coping mechanisms. So I believe that first you got to start with the environment. Allow your little bro to be in a different environment for a while, to where his mind can make sense of things that happened in that previous environment, rather than be consistently re-triggered by everything and reminded of the trauma, because that's PTSD. You understand me? And PTSD is not something easy. You know, once you are exposed to death, whether you're on the side of seeing someone get killed or you're on the side of killing, there's always two victims when people die. You understand me? It's the murderer, it's the victim. And then in this case, it's those who actually see the death itself. You understand me? Because we have people that they call mirror neurons. Whatever we watch, we experience. You understand me? So a part of you dies just by experiencing death. You understand me? A part of you goes through a different depth of life by experiencing life being taken. The innocence of it, the innocence of you, you understand me, no longer exists in that matter, because you just now been exposed, right, to so much life and death all in one moment.
Right.
I mean, so now you don't get to go through understanding and learning before you can get a grip and filter this with more knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Like, no, you stuck with an adolescent mind trying to understand something that requires wisdom. You understand me? And so it's going to be impossible for you to get it. So the best thing you can do is foster an environment that allow you to relieve the tension of not understanding it. Understand me? So putting yourself in a better environment puts you in a better state of mind, and it allows you to be in the best place to learn and heal. You understand me? And reveal yourself to yourself. Like, why did that stain me the way it did? How come I keep seeing that image replay over and over? Because I'm trying to understand the emotion. I'm trying to understand the event. It's emotion plus thought, strong emotion and thought becomes a long-term memory. And when that memory is downloaded on us, it changes our character development. Like, that's a story. That's a part of his character that he's going to tell for the rest of his life. Like, y'all don't understand why I'm this way. So there's something that's called and sit with your son and go through this test. The adverse childhood experience test. You understand me? That's the higher you rank on that test, the higher you are likely to have criminality, to early death, disease, right? Depression, suicide. So once you get him to understand that by going through these traumatic events, it make you more prone to these things, he may understand why his behavior is prone to certain activities. You understand me? In the moment that he become conscious of it, he actually now has the ability to have power over it. But without the awareness, you lack the understanding to even understand, like, oh, this is not even me. The event is forcing me to do this. I've had these adverse childhood experiences. That's why I'm being led down that road. I've seen somebody die. I grew up in the hood situations. I grew up in a split between seeing my mother and father relationship, right? I grew up not understanding the dynamics of being a male in this world. So all of us have degrees of adverse childhood experiences, but I would definitely rank, seeing death inside the home, you understand me, being at a high scoring level. So, as a father, you even understanding that psychology is going to be imperative, because the current knowledge that you have is unequipped to deal with the level of extremity and circumstances that you find yourself in as a father. So that's why we have to consistently learn, because maybe you were, the mindset you have was equipped to raise your son up until that point. But now he's went through something. So now I have to grow in my skill sets and development to now help him, because this is a new situation that even I at his age didn't go through. So I don't have the experience. So that's when you go get the knowledge, right? And then you figure out, I'm sure that there's other parents that dealt with this as well. So you find who the hell has the experience. What are their systems that they use to help in this childhood development? Because your son is going to appreciate you having real tactics and real strategies and real ways that you can help him, because he's going to be like, damn, now I know that I can come to my pops. You understand me? But if he feels like, oh, well, he don't understand what I'm going through, there's no reason for me to come to you. It's only going to cause more frustration, making him feel more alone, and trying to find and seek other different ways to cope with what he's going through. Right? So I would say, yeah, the adverse childhood experiences, changing the environment, you understand me? And just listening, right? Like, you can be your child's therapist. You understand me? Like, one of the biggest things that people go to therapy is because of the issues that they have with their parents as children, right? But if the parent was there for the child as a therapist, which is more so being a listening ear without judging, then the child has an outlet that they can go express themselves, that allow them to reveal and heal and get all of that stuff off of them. Like, you see, my father, he a soldier, right? He wasn't the type of person I just go to with all of my emotions. You understand me? We didn't really grow up in that particular type of paradigm where we express the full range of our emotions. That's something as an adult I had to seek and learn to understand, like, oh, that's healthy. You understand me? Oh, that's being actually fearless to speak how you feel, regardless of how other people feel about it or what other people may say or may not say. So it's like when my pops talked about being fearless, you understand me? That's where the courage sets in. And as parents, we have to learn how to grow our children, because we are custodians, we are managers of an adolescent in a world that they don't understand. And so we have to develop our understanding so that we can help others, you understand me, unlock themselves. So, that's where I would start with adverse childhood experiences, the environment, right? Seeking information where other parents have coped with similar situations with children that have went through trauma. You understand me? And allowing yourself to be the therapist for your child, not needing to. A therapist don't understand everything. They just listen, and the things that they do understand, they reflect back to their patient, so that the patient can understand it as well in the perspective that they just gave the therapist. So those are the ways that we go about coping with things that we don't have experience in. Is we gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Most definitely. I appreciate that. I'm recording this, so I'm gonna go back and definitely get those figure out some of that stuff you told me. What was I believe some about just going through the little courses and see where he ranking that.
Yeah, the ACEs. It's called the ACEs test. ACES.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go check that out for sure.
So I actually want everybody here that's in the Infinite Wealth Strategies to take the ACEs test, because as we go through the masculine development and the feminine development and the spiritual development, I want people to be able to basically heal through those things that we went through as children, so that as adults we can be in our right mind to be successful.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate that, Keys, man. I pretty appreciate you taking the time out, chopping it up with me, bro.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate you tapping in, man, and allowing us to have this dialogue in front of the people, because I'm sure that this may help more than just yourself and many other people that get ideas on self-development, and parenting as well.
Most definitely.
So peace to the God.
Peace to you too, brother.
Okay, let me move this. All right. Oh, there you go, Pops. Hold on. I can't hear you, Pops. You got to put the headphones back in. You got to put the headphones back in. I can't hear you. I thought it was just me. I'm checking my phone. Ah, beautiful. Yes, everybody should take that adverse childhood experiences test. Please do. There you go. I think it should be working with these headphones.
Yeah, you hear me now, Soldier?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely not something that easy to handle. When you first experience it, it's very traumatizing to a young person that never had that type of exposure. And and I know what's bothering him is the situation around the father and the son. You understand? And the only thing you can do is let them express themselves and get that what's in them that's bothering them out of them. And you got to watch them a little bit, because the thing about when you traumatized as a young child, those things will reappear later on in life. And you might not even realize it, that you're affected by it till you get older and certain behaviors start to develop. That's why it's so important to have a father in the home, because he can meet some of those issues. You know, even though you might not know exactly what to do, you there, you got that ear, you can listen. You understand what I'm saying? And if you know, some people take their children, I ain't never took mine to third because I ain't had no damn money to do all that. You understand? But this is something that you got to do yourself. You got to become a therapist, and you got to let him know, you know, you might see death again, son. You understand? Just because you seen it once don't mean you won't see it again. That's the way this world's set up now. Well, we take on all of these type of issues and we trying to solve them without any resources. But you the resource, so get with that young man and stay on top of him, because he might go into depression and all type of stuff. You might start to lash out. You have to look for all those type of signs. But the good thing about it, though, if you got something set up where you can get your child going to something that's study reinforcing them, self-esteem. You know, we don't have our children in anything that's really reinforcing them when they come across these situations, because you're going to come across them. There's no getting past it. In most cases, you're going to run into these type of situations. And, you know, that's our responsibility. That's our responsibility. That's our responsibility. So it's unfortunate the young brother had to experience that, but you know, we got young soldiers running around here 10 and 11 years old, 12, 13 carrying guns now. And murdering people on top of that. So we got a lot of work to do in our community. So brother, the best thing happened to the young soldier that he got his father there. Young soldiers, and he can go through all of that with his father. And murder. I'm getting a lot of echo. Can you hear that echo, Jabril?
All right, it's good now. My bad, brother. It's good now.
Oh, brother, you up there got me up here sounding bad, brother. Yeah, you know, but that's the thing that we just had to go through, brother. That's why we call ourselves guys, because we got to deal with everything. You might, you know, I just see people get murdered and stuff like that. A woman got murdered in the house. The builder was there. The Asian one, I'm sitting on the front. Heard the gunshot and the scream and stuff and come out and seen the dude run across the street. with his shirt off. The other guy next to the house, he cutting the grass. He ain't even stop cutting the grass. Like nothing had happened. Police come out and everything, went up, found the one was dead upstairs, dude done killed her and all this old type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this stuff is taking place in our community. It's almost like it's damn near normal. And you deal with those type of situations. And then you have a lot of fathers that, you know, some of them trying their best. And I know I had a friend of mine that I was used to be happy. I didn't have no father around though. Because the way his father jump on him and beat him up, because he right there by the yard and stuff, because you ain't made it into the house. They come out and you gonna hit all on him and stuff. You out here with his little partners and stuff, and you out here embarrassing him. And I used to always say, damn, I'm glad my papa ain't around because he ain't had me doing all that damn stuff to me. You understand what I'm saying? Because it wasn't necessary. So we go through all of these trials and tribulations, brother. That's why you know black man must be God. Look at all the things that we gonna have went through from slavery all the way up through now, and it ain't stopped. How did we survive all of that trauma? Think about it. How did we survive? Some people asking about the teaching of Honorable Elijah Muhammad about the tribe of Shabazz. Talking about, is it true? There's a such thing as a tribe of Shabazz. We cannot find any historical record of the tribe of Shabazz written anywhere. Well, hell, reason you can't find it because we right here. You looking over there, but we right here in America. After 64 years, it was a done deal, but America was made a superpower off the mind power of the black man. You that special tribe that they went and got, brother. Now look at us now. We sitting here after 400 and something years of slavery, suffering and death, talking about freedom, justice and equality. Talking about striving to be upright when the white man made a nigga out of us, made us into little devils. But we still striving to do the right thing, still trying to get a family together. We're still trying to protect that woman. We still talking about building a mighty, mighty nation, being upright. Right? Think about that. A lot of people can't make it like that, brothers and sisters. People can't go through what you done been through. You pretty much count yourself short. You don't give yourself enough credit to tell you the truth about it. You don't look at yourself in a high, set yourself on a high pedestal. You think you're down on the bottom. But look at your mind. Now we churning. We working, trying to fight against all the immorality that's been placed in front of us in this country. Striving to counteract that so we can be better human beings, so we can grow closer to our nature. Think about that. You are the gods. White man came out the cave and took over every damn thing. He was allowed. Look at his morals, values, and principles. They all full of technology. He don't care about nothing but himself. He'll smile in your face and tell you good smoothing words and do some good deeds for you, only to use you as a tool and a fool. But look at the black man and woman trying to be upright. Yeah, we got those that out there tripping. Well, we got some ain't tripping. We got some on the square. Some like the brother come on tonight trying to get his family together. Little brother worrying about the sound of his voice. You know, we got sisters on here that have a men problem with their husbands, trying to stay strong and take care of their babies. After they've been beat down and drugged through the mud. My grandmama was forced to work for the sheriff. So she was a good cook and all of that. Look at all this that we done been through, brothers, living amongst the rats. You got the Chinese selling your dog, cat, and the rat out the back door. Look at all we done been through. But we still striving to be upright. Look at how we came through all of this. We end up with holy names. Think about that. So who's really in charge? Who's on the scene today? Or the black man is calling himself Muhammad's, Sharif's, Akbar, Rahman, and Ali, Bahirs, Kalimas, Unisas, Aminas. How did we get to this point? After all of this darkness we done came through, You the baddest man and woman on this planet Earth, brother. You just don't know it yet, but soon you shall soon find out. The whole world getting ready to find out, brothers. But we're going to eliminate these problems in our community, brother. We can do that. There's always a solution to the problem. We just have to take on that task and get busy. We got to get our minds right, man. We in a situation where we ain't formulating no planned activity to counteract the things that's going on amongst us in our community. Only thing we doing is posting about what somebody put the solutions out there. Hell, the man that taught me.
What the hell? Yeah. Blessings. I'm not sure what happened. 1 second. Let me see what's going on. Pop's phone may have died. That's what seems to most likely have happened with the abrupt disruption. And while he's gone, I want to tell a brief story because a brother had brought up another point talking about, his son. It reminds me of a story of my father, man. I remember summer 2007 coming out to California. And hold on, this Pops right here. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir. All right. Did you want to say anything before I close it out?
All praise due to Allah. Alhamdulillah, takbir, akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. All right.
All right, man.
Walaikum salam. So, Pops was going. I mean, we already 2 hours something in, so he already going in. But I ended with this story, man. I remember, I'm working security for my older brother. I probably during that time was 17 years old. You understand me? And we worked at a school, probably about 17 years old. And at this middle school, some of the students probably range all the way up to about 15. You understand me? Some 16, ain't the smartest, ain't the brightest. And I remember my father was going there because he was the one who was getting the contract for security for that particular school. And I remember walking through that school, me in my big baggy suit. They had to know that I was young. They had to know that I wasn't an adult and qualified most likely to do security, at least for the age of student range that I was dealing with, given that they were so close in proximity to my age. But I remember that the teacher is a white teacher, and they walked up to me specifically and wanted to let me know. They said, your father, he speaks with a very relaxed tone, but I can tell he's not a man to trifle with. Even when he says things in a very relaxed manner, I can tell he's still very serious. And they were saying, man, I like him, right? During that time, they was able to secure the contract, for a few more years, right? And I remember thinking like, wow, here's this man that speaks all this power, all of this big guy energy, speaks about white folks in a way to where he's just speaking plain truth. And I never thought I would have seen a white person walk up to me and give me a compliment on my pops, but it also reminded me that this man really knows the science of the proper handling of people. And my pops used to take me to business meetings, right? And a couple missions, right? And also I just seen how he was able to deal with other men as he taught them and did business. And one of the most important things I take from that, and that's the reason I'm saying this, is because, the observation that our children have, right? That's the most powerful lessons that you can teach them, because they're always watching you. What you say don't matter that much. We don't remember words as often as we remember actions, right? And we remember what other people say about our parents as well because of their character, right? And so when we look at that, you can try to teach your children as many things as possible, and that's good, because the more that you lay for them, it becomes a foundation that you can build with. And you may not think that they listen, and it's okay. You still got to do your job. You understand me? That if you don't do your job because you don't think that your child is listening, then you fail, right? If you do your job and your child don't listen, then they fail, right? So as a parent, you can't give up because you got a child that you think not listening. You understand me? Just because they hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious. No, you have to continue to set an example, continue to teach through actions, and to deliver the lessons and the wisdom, because when they are of age and they become smart enough and they got more wisdom and understanding, those lessons that they were given, they can look back and reflect and say, oh, I had a good parent. Oh man, moms was really teaching me the right thing. Pops was really teaching me the right things. Then they realized that it was me that was the issue the whole time. But see, often when people are stiff-necked, rebellious, we allow them to change us, and we become rebellious and stiff-necked to them. So we have to continue to set the examples through our actions, and that goes throughout life. As people, regardless of what anybody else is doing, your character has to continue to be on the good path, because when the soil is ready, the seeds will sow. When the soil is ready, the seeds will sow. You know, so being able to take the good that I've seen, the examples that my father has set as a disciplined black man, and you know, my pops is not a perfect man, but the lessons that I took from him growing up and my becoming a man were more valuable, you understand me, than anything on this planet, because I had a foundation that I can build off of. So when he say, listen, brother, you know, you a FOI. Well, if he would have told me that and he trained and didn't train me at all, that wouldn't have meant nothing. But since that I went through the training, you understand me, and I went through every Monday night like we doing here, I had to be up to 3 a.m, and here I am, and you know, middle school and elementary school. To that matter, before middle school, you talking about elementary school. I'm young soldier training. You understand me? Got to get up early the next day, and here we are 3, 4 at night, running around the block screaming "Allahu Akbar, who soldiers are we?" You understand me? And learning the proper handling of people, learning business, learning combat skills, and learning how to speak, and manhood development, and all these different things. My brother, give me a second. And so, you know, so when he told me as an adult and I came to him with an issue and he said, just be a FOI, I could go back to the training because it was a foundation. The principles were set then. I may have lost some of the principles, forgot it, but you can point me back. But if you have nothing to point back to, then that child has nothing to anchor to, because they don't have a foundation. They don't have pillars, right? So it's important that, you know, and that goes for anybody in our life. We teach and suggest and we exemplify the good that we want others to take on. Whether you think they listening or not, doing good is all about serving God. You understand me? It's all about being in that service, because that's your character, even if other people don't readily take it. Because every lesson my mother and father taught me, I remember. I just didn't readily follow it at the time that they was teaching me. You understand me? I still went my way, but when it was time to go the right way, I thought about the directions that they gave me, and I was able to find myself on the right path. You understand me? And so if you never give the right directions when the student is ready, they don't have the instructions on where to go. So don't give up ever. Always set the example forever. And we have to continue to grow in our skills, right? And learn the proper handling of people. So I'll leave you with these 3 things, because Pops is going to be teaching on the proper handling in the handbook as taught by Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And these are the fundamental teachings in the proper handling of people. And number one is don't criticize, condemn, or complain when handling people. You can go with your child as well. So take these lessons, but take this just out dealing with people, period, as a man or as a woman. Give honest, sincere appreciation, right? But let's deal with number one. Why is it so important that we don't criticize, condemn, or complain? Right? Because negative associations build a bad filter on how people deal with you. So you start getting put into a bad light and people stop listening because you're associated with negative energy. So criticizing people, you understand me, in their mind, they're going to want to get back at you, condemning them or complaining to them, right? Give honest, sincere appreciation. Settle on the best part. The giving honest is the most important aspect of it. When you're speaking to somebody who's constantly negative, the way that you get that person's mind to steer in the right direction is to distract that mind and talk about something positive. Or they want to talk about how negative their day is. No, we about to talk about this. They forgot about what was happening. Now we on another subject. You understand me? And or you dealing with someone that doesn't see themselves in the best light, and you settle on the best part. You think about one thing that's true in that moment, and you give appreciation and highlight to that so they can focus on that. Right? Arousing the other person an eager wants. You understand me? Arousing the other person an eager want. So when you're talking about an eager want, you're talking about a sense of urgency to be able to give a person a motivation to get started or to get things done. The want is the will. You understand me? They have to be ready. You are inspiring them and pushing them, and that can be done in the way that you speak, in the way that you move through the actions. You understand me? And these last ones that I'm going to go over, then we're going to close out, is ways to make people like you. Become genuinely interested in other people. So we talked about sincere appreciation. Genuine interest requires you to be present, to show up, to listen, right? To actually activate an interest, because people can recognize phony and fake from a mile away. They know when somebody is faking with them. So you have to, in that moment, force yourself to be genuinely interested by finding that best part. Things that actually concern. Ask them questions that actually will pique your interest so you can be there and give them that energy. So when you leave them, they have a good impression on you. Like, when you're interested in people, people love you. Smile. Smiling is one of the greatest disarming agents on the planet Earth. A good salesman is always smiling, right? The best thing to leave a person with is a smile. Why? Because anytime they think about you, they will see you smiling, projecting a positive image in their head. You understand me? Giving them a positive impression about you. Fellas, same thing with ladies. You around a lady and you always mugging, you always trying to look extra serious. When she think about you, that's what she go see in her head. But if you're around and you always smiling, when she think about you, man, it ain't nothing but big old happy vibrations. So the smile, you understand me, is a disarming agent, because when you smile, people reflect the same thing back to you, and you are forcing them to be in a good mood, right? Remember, number 3, remember that a man's name is to him the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Oh, now we get to some game here. Listen, speaking people's name is the most important thing. You understand me? I'm trying to tell you the game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go deep into that, because that one is crazy. I ain't going to go deep in right now. But in any situation, being able to speak a person's name, number 1, creates connectivity. You understand me? It makes it personable. You make them feel important. You understand me? And just those 3 things right there, you can use in any business situation. You're selling a product, you're in a relationship, but learning to speak a man or woman name is important for making a personal connection. Number 4, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Listen, besides hearing your name, the most valuable thing that a person can hear, you know what I'm saying, is themselves talking about themselves. So let me tell you about myself. I'm 19 Keys, you know what I'm saying? Greatest thought leader on the planet Earth. Just me saying that felt good. So if you give our people the opportunity to talk about themselves, fellas, since this is a masculine development, that's game. Now look. Now don't use this game in the wrong way, because it ain't supposed to be a game forever. You're supposed to have an end goal in mind and start that family. You understand me? So when you sitting there talking to a lady, you can get her to speak about herself. You understand me? Everybody is interested in themselves. If you can get somebody really going, they go, "Oh man, I had such a great time with you." The whole time they just sit there and talk about themselves. You understand me? It's different when you can get a person self-interested, then they're more interested in you because of the feeling that you give them about themselves. Come on, man. Come on. So now they gonna like you even more because they like themselves more now. You know what I'm talking about? Make others feel important and do it sincerely. You understand me? Do it sincerely. And the sincerely, you have to understand the key parts, the sincerely. When you make other people feel important by emphasizing their role, emphasizing their duty, you understand me? Emphasizing their value. Man, you know how valuable you are to this? Hey, without you, we cannot do this. Making people feel important allows them to act in that role with mastery, gives them purpose and function within life. And the number one thing that every human being searches, at least in the largest percentage, is purpose. So if you make a person feel important, you are playing on the ego, right? And when people's ego is deflated, they don't feel important. Giving them responsibility and duty and value and appreciation and sincerity, right? And focusing on those things and like, hey, we couldn't do this without you. That's how you start to develop, you understand, specifically, since I'm talking to the fellas as men, to make people like you. So work on those things for yourself, write those down. This has been Infinite Wealth Strategies, because I promise you, those are the most transferable skills in any environment, especially business and sales, right? Practice those on live, practice those in your community development, because I will be teaching community development as well, right? How to build your community as you building your brand. So, you know, we're going to go through all of this and you're going to get these keys and you're going to get that lesson. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I look forward to your testimonials in the Discord. You understand me? And I look forward to you all utilizing some of this information as you learn how to become the greatest salesman on the planet Earth. You understand me? To bring more people in here, and then you'll be able to earn as more people learn, as well as we grow this community. So, you know, we roughly are probably about 200 students right now, and we'll be 1,000 soon. You understand me? And the goal is to consistently grow to where we have one of the largest communities, you understand me, of masculine and feminine, properly developed human beings walking around here balanced with their mind right, and their spirits right, and their physicality right. Because the aspect of this is not just, oh, you know, we sitting here talking on a digital online platform, but there's physical activity, work, and training that you have to get to in order to qualify yourself to the standards. You understand me? And being men and women. So we ain't letting you ride and slide. You understand me? Some of your habits gonna have to change. And the number one thing you need to do is fast from the things that made you who you are, so you can get to who you want to become. Tap in on 19 Keys. This has been your masculine development. You understand me? For business and life lessons with me and Pops. Peace, family.